routines that you're used to. So it is a little bit different.
From Red Oak's perspective, second year now as head coach for Coach Gray, and that's got to help with the continuity, and the coaching staff has maintained basically the same too. So from last year to this year, I would think that's got to help the Tigers that the kids are a little bit more familiar with the coaching and the staff in terms of how it was last year.
Yeah, pretty much all your Coach Gray being back, but also your coordinators with Carter Bruce and Tristan Johnson on the defensive side. So all the kids are used to the same verbiage. They're used to everything, and I think both those coaches kind of grown into the roles too, and I've been to some of the practices and seeing especially Coach Bruce get a lot more vocal, and really feeling a lot more confident and kind of taking charge with that.
We'll get your insights on that Red Oak offense. Here we go on now from the Riverside perspective. New coach for them as well. Longtime assistant, and I believe his name is Tyler Johannesson, has moved up into the head coaching role, replacing Daryl Frayne, who was there for 7 or 8 years. And looking at this Riverside Bulldog team coming in here tonight, Red Oak, this is a team it's missing a big performer from last year.
Oh yeah, they're actually missing a lot of big performers last year because Riverside they had a very good year last year. 6-2 regular season. They lost their first playoff game, but I believe they lost 12 seniors off that team, and including their leading rusher,
Jackson Gordon,
who ran for like 2,100 yards, and their second leading rusher, and a lot of their linemen, moved on. So for Riverside here, it is, got a new head coach, though the same guy just now moving into the head position. They're replacing a lot of positions, so for them, this is kind of a way to kind of see what they got as well.
Yeah, when just looking at the roster as a whole, Red Oak has 26, 27 kids out. That's about what Riverside has out. And when I looked at the Red Oak roster, Brett, fairly good distribution. I mean, 11 seniors out, 9 juniors, 3 sophomore, 4 freshmen in relation to that, and I think Riverside probably pretty similar to that. But that's the way it is with football here now. It's your roster can change so dramatically from year to year, and it's really important to try to retain what you can to keep that continuity in your program.
Well, and I think that's what really is going with the whole building a program. You got to really focus in on those 7th and 8th graders, trying to keep those numbers up and keeping them rolling through. I know we do have a couple new junior high coaches, and they're actually helping out with the high school staff as well. So, hopefully, I know we have a pretty good 7th grade class, so their numbers should be good with that. So, that's kind of the challenge, and it's not a unique challenge to Red Oak either.
And, at some point in our season, we will discuss this new 8th grade eligibility rule that has come into place, and we'll talk about that. We don't need to get into all those details right now, but that will be an interesting topic conversation to have when you look at rosters and you look at schools. And I think you mentioned how many schools are not been able to field a team this year.
Well, just recently, didn't 8 teams just throughout the state of Iowa drop their varsity schedules? They'll be playing like a JV schedule just because they don't feel like they have the numbers to compete at the varsity level. Honestly, with this whole 8th grade participation, I don't see 8th graders playing football.
I would think it would be a rare instance.
It would be incredibly rare, and even so, I don't think you want them unless you absolutely had to, because there's a big difference between a 13 and 14-year-old and an 18-year-old.
It's kind of like college football now. Brett, you can get an 18-year-old freshman coming in and going against a 29-year-old professional. It's coming back to college football. We'll start that topic for another day. One other thing before we go to break here. Every year, guys, we come back to bend the field, and it seems like the Red Oak schools do something, enhancement or renovation. And tell me a little bit about their locker room renovation.
Well, I know the big thing with the field house on the south side of the complex here, they decided one of those rooms that just had concrete floors and everything like that. They're like, we need to have a nice place for us to go into. And, with help of the Booster Club, they were able to redo that room. They put lockers in for the kids. They have LED lights on it. They put a big screen TV in there so they could actually use the huddle system to do replays and actually put them up on the screen. Fans.
It sounds like a place we're going to have to go hang out and watch the Iowa State football games on a Saturday afternoon.
It's not a bad place. I mean, they got the turf in there so the kids aren't falling down. And I know they've actually, if you come down here and check it out, or it's just a block building, before they kind of put the metal black metal facing that is kind of on the sides of the
And it kind of
bleachers
matches
here.
with what they've done in other part of the
And I know
field.
they're not quite done. They're actually going to be putting some signage up on that. Right now it's just this big black building, but it really does look sharp, kind of cleans the place up a little bit. And then once you get some signage on there to kind of pop some color there, it's just kind of another nice thing to kind of, upgrade the facilities here.
Well, very good. We'll come. We're going to take a break here. We'll come right back. We're here at Bend the Field tonight, where we're pregame prior to the Red Oak Tigers versus Riverside Bulldogs. We'll be right back after these messages. Back here at Bend the Field and Red Oak pregame prior to the Red Oak Tigers versus Riverside Bulldogs game. Had an opportunity to speak with Red Oak Tiger football head coach Alan Gray. We'll get those comments here from him now in the locker room pregame show. Back here at Bend the Field prior to the Red Oak Tiger versus Riverside Bulldog game to start the 2026 season, Brett. So tell me a little about the Tigers, the makeup of the Tigers team here that's coming into the season tonight.
Well, I think we're going to have a little bit different on the offense than we did last year. I think a little bit more run heavy. I know we definitely got a different quarterback, Mason Fisher, graduated on. He had been a 3-year starter. Jackson Purdue, who was the running back, and now is going to be taking the reins for that. So I think you're going to see a little bit more run heavy with Jackson, being a former running back, and then now with him as quarterback, you kind of add that extra running threat, out there for that. And so I think maybe you're going to see a little bit more few sprint outs and stuff like that when they're looking for passing things, just to kind of give Jackson the option to run, just to kind of make everything just a little bit more multiple when it comes to the offense. So, one of the stalwarts we lost from last year, Jacob Patterson, he's gone. So, kind of, and center,
It will be Brody Hughes.
well, so actually, I think it's going to be Dave. They say
It could be. I don't know. I was giving Brody Hughes. It's going to be
I think
Mayberry.
it's actually going to be Davis Maryberry who's going to step into that center position. So
Both guys have some experience. Though.
they have had experience.
In fact, that's where they're going to go. Rose got some experience on that line with Hayden Jones, and they got some size. Jones goes 6'5", 325. Sawyer Purdue 6'3", 220. So they got some size on that line.
They got some size, and especially with Purdue, he's really able to move there. But Hayden Jones, this is his, he's a junior this year, but third year starting here, since he started as a freshman. So he's a kid they're going to really rely on, especially at that left tackle position. And he's going to also have to play a lot because they also got him on nose guard for defense.
Yeah. And that's one thing in the early season game, Brett, you can do the practices all the time to heap at that first game experience. We've seen that for a lot of teams, that exhaustion factor kicks in the second half, especially a lot of kids that are playing both offense and defense.
Well, you're going to, hopefully we don't see a whole lot of it tonight, issues with cramping. Because it is, it's pretty warm outside, pretty darn humid, so these kids are really sweating. And, you just can't get into game shape without playing games first. So, got to make sure, I don't know if you got the pickle juice or the packets there, loading up on the potassium and everything like that. I'm sure just without there being school today, they were telling those kids, hey, you get up in the morning, 8 o'clock, you better start loading up their electrolytes and all that other stuff.
So tell me about Riverside coming in here. New head coach, a longtime assistant, has been moved up into the role, Tyler Johannesson.
Yep, and replacing Daryl Frayne, who had actually gone back to Riverside after being at Creston for so many years, having success with their wrestling programs, goes there. And Riverside had a very good year last year, 6-2 in the regular season before they lost their first game in the playoffs. They were a very high-scoring team, mostly a running team. I think as a team, they ran for over 3,000 yards last year, with their main tailback running for 2,100
Jackson
yards.
Gordon over 2,000 yards rushing last year. 60% of their offense what he accounted for last year, and he's gone. So,
and 12 seniors were on that team that graduated, including a lot of those linemen as well. So, because if you're going to run that much, you need to have a really good offensive line, and they did. And I'll say one thing about Riverside is they always do have a lot of athletes.
And I tell you, they got a talented quarterback, Peyton Amdor. He's a talented kid, and they've got a kid named Cole Jepson that's going to be a playmaker. So they got some playmakers in offense still.
Oh, yeah, and especially with Amdor. He's a 6'2 kid, being a quarterback. It's going to be a little bit easier for him seeing the field. And we'll kind of see if this year, with him now at quarterback and losing some of those running backs, are they going to still stick with such a run-heavy team, or are they going to try to make it a little bit more multiple? Chances are they're still going to run the ball probably at least 2/3.
And that's the mystery of week one, really. I mean, you can talk about
week zero.
Excuse me. What happened last year, it may or may not relate to this year in terms of the talent and what's coming back, and a team can look different in terms of offensive, defensive philosophy. You just can't – you don't know for sure until you get out there and until you get something on tape from that week zero, in this case, game. While we're there real quickly, we've got a limited number of games around the area tonight. Red Oak is not the only one, but other area games tonight, Brett, we've got Panorama at Southwest Valley. That's an opener there in Corning. Mo Valley at AHSCW. That's an interesting game. I think Mo Valley, that's a team that has been down. They've got good numbers. They got a lot of returning players. I look for Mo Valley to win a couple games this year, be competitive. Keep an eye on that game tonight. And then you've got Seymour over at Stanton. That's going to be a good opener over there. And the game, I think, kind of the highlight game on the schedule for me, Brett, is the East Mills at Griswold game tonight.
No, that should be a pretty good game. And, especially with we'll kind of see what East Mills, kind of has. They've had a lot of success. They've had some pretty good success over the years, especially against Griswold. And so,
well, last year Griswold was up 20-0 at halftime.
Oh, yeah.
And East Mills comes back and gets them in overtime 34-32. So that
going to see some exciting games out there. And, it's going to be the same thing for a lot of them. Same issues dealing with, what do we got? And I'd say that's kind of the beauty of high school athletics. Is you can have such a difference in teams from one year to the next because
it's like college, Brett. You could be Indiana and win a national championship one year, and it's very difficult. We talk about that continuity of coaching, continuity of players. It's so important in all level sports to keep. And like I say, I look at the breakdown roster: your seniors, your juniors. So we'll see what we got tonight. We're going to take a break. We'll come back pregame here prior to Riverside versus Red Oak football. back at Bend the Field here in Red Oak. KCSI Sports pregame prior to Red Oak Tigers versus Riverside Bulldogs football game. Matt Davis here with Brett Eubank and Mr. Aaron West. Timberly Bentley on the stats tonight. Guys, we're about ready to get near kickoff here. Teams are out in the field lined up here. We're going to have the national anthem pretty soon. You guys ready for some football?
I am ready for football.
I am
Ready for some football?
Yeah. This is good. I like this week 0 game.
Well, once August hits, you kind of get the itch.
Brett, remind me somewhere in the broadcast to talk to you about the snake in the football helmet broadcast.
What's that? Say that.
So,
We're about ready to go to national anthem here.
We're going to go national. So let's take a break right now. We'll be right back here at Bend the Field. Back here at Bend the Field in Red Oak. We're all about ready to kick off here between the Red Oak Tigers and Riverside Bulldogs, an opening game of the season. Matt Davis, Brett Eubank, Aaron West, Timberly Bentley on the stats. Red Oak Tigers on the field, Riverside on the field here. Guys, we're about ready to kick this off. The field is in great condition. Chris Von Ozel's mowed it 10 times this week, so it's in good shape. Tigers in their black uniforms, black helmets, Riverside white tops, blue pants, and we're going to get this one going here. Brett, let's go through the starters real quick.
Okay, we're just going to hit the offensive starters. First for the Tigers would be number 1, Noah Smirniotis. Number 6, Jackson Purdue. Number 12, Dylan Ryberg. Number 17, Hudson Fisher. Number 23, Zane Sloan. Number 25, Damon Roby. Number 32, Dalton Faree. Then on the line be number 54, Sergio Villanueva. Number 70, Brody Hughes. 75, Davis Mareberry. Number 77, Hayden Jones. And number 65, Sawyer Purdue. Offensive starters for Riverside be number 1, Cole Jepson. Number 2, Mason Hauser. Number 3, Bennett Huff. Number 5, Peyton Amdor. He'll be playing quarterback. Number 9, Court Reichen. Number 22, Patton Scheckender. Number 51, Grant Richardson. Number 62, Casper Reichen. Number 66, Brandon Perez. Number 69, Hayden Trumbauer. And number 71, Max Shano. Captains for tonight for the Tigers be Jackson Purdue, Dylan Ryberg, Damon Roby, and Sergio Villanueva. Captains for Riverside will be Cole Jepson, Peyton Amdor, Peyton Scheckender, and Rex Shano. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and introduce our referees. Our referee tonight will be Chris Johnson out of Stanton. He's always there for all of our baseball games as well. The umpire is going to be Joe Lucas. Our head linesman, Jake Gillespie. Line judge will be Alex Cabbage. Back judge, Brian Bowen. Field judge, Timmy Myers. And side judge will be Derek Howard. So I think we got everybody going here. I think we're ready to play now.
Good crowd here showing up, orange and black on this side. Riverside's got a good contingent on their side. Beautiful night for football here in Red Oak. Aaron, I think that rain's going to stay away.
I think it's going to, Matt.
So,
I think we're in good shape.
So we have had enough rain. We do not need any more rain. So it's going to be a good night here for football. The captains are lining up here. We're going to meet here. I believe it's center field here in just a second, get the tossing away. But, guys, Brett, we talked about from a Red Oak perspective needing to move that ball, get that ball offensively moved this year.
I think it's really important for Red Oak, especially to really field position. That was such the issue last year is field position, especially if you receive the kickoff, just being able to get a couple first downs. So even if you do have to punt, you're not giving it to the other team on their own 40, 35, 40, 50-yard line there. So that way you're make their offense have to work a little bit harder, give a little bit more space to your defense. So I think it's really important for the Tigers to get a strong start for the season.
And not only that, but the hallmarks that you always have to do, which is play clean football. You need to protect the football, don't turn it over, limit your penalties. All of those things have to go with that as well. But I'm with you. I think from Red Oak's perspective, being able to move that ball offensively, and that helps by getting good field position, right from the get. We've seen too many times where you get on that wrong side of the field, and it's a long haul down the field there. So from the Tigers, kicking game, special teams, we saw a lot of times too last year on punts. Even that when that ball bounces an extra 10 or 15 yards on the punt, that's a lot of field advantage you give up. So we'll see where the Tigers are this year, maybe making some plays on that. And from Riverside's perspective, Brett, they got some playmakers that can make some plays for them.
No, they got a lot of team speed, so it's going to really be important for the Tigers, especially on those kick coverage, punt coverage things, to really keep contained, try to, don't allow them to break contain, to make the long play going down the field. I know something's going to be a little bit different, maybe just a little bit before we've actually seen it. I know Pace Shelley doing all the kicking this year. He's going to be trying a little bit more rugby-style kicking on the punts. So hopefully with that, giving the team a little bit more time to get down the field.
Brett, you'll be interesting to know that Coach Gray picked that tip up from the Iowa State Coaches Clinic. That's an Iowa State football strategy that has been proved
I was
successful.
wondering how long it was going to take to get around to Iowa State.
Just thought I'd throw that in there. Now, I'm not sure what's going on, and seemed like we're having a –
well, I think we're at 6:56 here, so I think we're still just a little bit early here. I think pretty much they have already done the toss, but I don't think they've actually announced it anybody yet. So they're going to probably go ahead and bring the captains out again to kind of do their ceremonial, so we'll know who has actually won the toss, who's going to defer, if someone's going to take the ball right away. So, we're just kind of in that thing. Everybody's rip-roaring ready to go, but everybody's in a really ready-up, hurry, and not yet.
Hurry up and wait. Time to put in a plug. So tomorrow, Aaron, tell them what's going on at KCSI tomorrow.
So, tomorrow morning, Matt, we have our inaugural KCSI Sunshine Tailgate. Tomorrow morning starts at a little after 8 o'clock, and that'll be on the radio. You'll be there. I'll be there. Derek O'Neill will be there. Mr. Bill Billings will be there, so should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
And we'll talk about things we really only know about, or we think we know about, but we really don't. It's football.
It's debatable. It's debatable. It's debatable.
We'll have high school scores. There are a limited number of games. A lot of teams, most teams tonight are playing scrimmages.
Yeah.
But there are a limited number of actual games here in week 0. We'll talk about that.
Talk about volleyball. Talk about college football.
Speaking of that, as we're waiting for the toss here, Red Oak has their volleyball team ranked, I believe, 11th, I think, in
right.
Class 3A in the state come out preseason rankings. And the Red Oak boys cross-country team is ranked 4. Looks like Red Oak has won the toss here, and they will receive the ball to start the game. So two teams we saw last year, fall sports season, the Red Oak boys team and the Red Oak girls volleyball team have hugely successful seasons, winning Hawkeye 10 championships, now competing this year in the Western Iowa Conference. So Tigers win the toss. They'll get the ball offensively here to start the game.
Yeah, it's suppose a big opportunity. The coaches really wanted to, okay, let's put the offense on and let's see what they got and see if we can really get a good start to the season going, get some momentum going, and that's what you want to do.
Jackson Purdue, a quarterback. I'm interested to see this freshman. Coach Gray was talking very much highly about Damon Roby, a freshman starting the fullback in that Tiger offense tonight.
He's kind of that fullback and such that he's not a very tall kid. He's a very solid kid. So it's one of those kids that might be a little hard to find, especially on the defense, hiding behind some of those big offensive linemen. So we'll kind of see how they go from there.
Speaking of hiding, one thing to talk about, Red Oak has a distinct advantage at that wide receiver position. Dylan Ryberg, 6'5", Zane Sloan, 6'3", Smirnitis, 6'3". I mean, that could come into play here.
Give me 5 seconds, Matt. We need to do a quick legal ID over on the radio side of things, but we have a huddle going on out there. What are the officials just getting ready for the year, Matt, or what?
I think that's what
they got their dinner plans worked out.
There we go. Break.
Now we'll kind of see how many. Hopefully, even though it's week 0, just know the referees got to kind of get in their groove too, and hopefully a lot of those hankies stay in their pockets tonight.
So back deep for the Tigers will be number 32, Dalton Faree. He will be featured in the running back position too, as well for the Tigers this year.
Yeah, Hudson Fisher is also back there. He's kind of on the left side there. I know one of the things that Tigers actually have guys up a little bit more about. Half the time last year, Riverside actually did a lot of pooch kicks.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that against Red Oak last year. A lot of the short kicks up front, and like I say, opening game, nothing on tape really. So stay alive here, but
like I said, Riverside did it a lot last year. So I know in talking to Josh Kipley there, one of the offensive coaches does a lot of special team stuff. They've been really working on that, making sure that if it's going to that second row, hey guys, go ahead and fair catch that thing and get good field position.
Okay, here we go. Peyton Amdor will be doing the kicking for Riverside, and we're about ready to get 2026 high school football season underway here. Times are lined up, and he are away. The kick is away. It's a deep kick, high kick down the middle of the field. It's going to be fielded by Faree at about the 5. Faree down the 10. Cuts inside and met there and dropped at about the 20-yard line. Tigers will start 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
Yeah, met by a whole host of Bulldogs there, including number 51, Grant Richardson. So Tigers will be starting where about the 30-yard line here, and so about the 20-yard line. So we'll see how it goes.
Senior 5'10", 185-pound quarterback Jackson Purdue under center here for the Tigers as we get this season underway with the Tigers on the first offensive series of the year. And like you said, Brett, getting first down, good yardage and first down, getting ahead of those changes is important. Tigers here, Purdue under center, Faree in tailback, I slot, Roby in fullback position. Purdue calling a play out, taking the snap. And gives it to Faree. Not much there. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, just there in the I line, just kind of the I formation there, trying to send one to each side, but really didn't get much of a push there. And it looked like number 55 there, Lucas Manser, was there on the tackle there, coming up right from the middle. So, one of those things we'll see. Tigers need to get a better push there if they're going to be running up the middle. 2nd
and 10 here. Tigers now 2 receivers each side. Faree lie back with Roby in a fullback position. Purdue under center. Purdue barking out calls, takes the signal, snaps it back to Faree. Faree, nothing there. Swarmed under by the Bulldogs. Going to lose 5 yards on that play. He's going to set up a 3rd and 15.
Yeah, Mason Hauser from Riverside kind of came up from his linebacker position and really just kind of cut right outside the tight end there. Was able to make a big tackle there, backing up the Tigers, making them about 3rd and about 14 yards to go.
Yeah, so already here we are, Tigers with a long 3rd down possession here, and you don't want to get too fancy here. Like we said, all things take care of the football here. See if the Tigers can dial up some here and get some positive yardage here. 3rd and 14. Tigers go wide receiver, wide side, slot receiver this side. I back with Faree. Purdue under center. Snap to Purdue, and we have whistles. And
looks like we got a false start here.
Going to be I think so. So that's going to push Tigers back 5 more. So be a 3rd and no, they're going to call that on Riverside. He's pointing at Riverside, so that'll be on Riverside. So that'll be a little bit to the Tigers' advantage. So I'll make it 3rd and 10. So Tigers here have a little bit of a break there. We'll see. We anticipate, Brett, Tigers having kind of a more mobile quarterback with Purdue, that we're going to see some rollouts and that with a passing attack. We'll see if something's dialed up here from Coach Bruce.
Yeah, let's see if we see more of a sprint out here.
Tigers showing that same formation, one receiver each side, I-back formation. Purdue under center, takes a snap, rolling to the right now, looking for Sloan. Still got the ball, under pressure, cuts it up. It's going to be out of bounds, about 24-yard line, picks about 3 or 4 yards, well short of the first down. It's going to be 4th and about 7.
No, if you notice what Riverside, they actually have 5 guys along the line of scrimmage, right on the line along with the 3 linebackers. So they're really kind of daring the Tigers to pass the ball. Yeah, I think if Purdue would have thrown the ball a little bit quicker, I think he had a guy open on initially, but, then just kind of ran out of time there.
Paige Shelley in the punt for the Tigers. Back deep is Cole Jepson. Jepson is their top playmaker offensively, so Tigers will have to get a good punt out here. The snap, a low snap through the hands, and Shelley's just going to land on it, and that's a big – we talk about take care of the football, and Riverside will take over possession on the Tigers' 6-yard line on the snap. That was a low snap on the ground. Shelley couldn't field it, and right there, Riverside's going to open their first series right on the doorstep of the Tigers' end zone.
No, that's just almost kind of one of your worst scenarios right there, to have a big mistake there in your special teams there. So hopefully we'll kind of see what the Tigers are going to be able to do here on defense. I know they're running more kind of a 3-3 there with a couple safeties and a couple – they're kind of more on the outside, kind of almost like outside linebackers. So kind of a little bit different formation this year for the Tiger defense.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. 1st and 6, at the goal line here. Amdor at quarterback, shotgun formation for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs bring a runner in motion, give to a Bulldog. He's going to pound his way into the end zone. That's number 2, Mason Hauser. First play, touchdown, Riverside Bulldogs.
Yeah, they just kind of motioned him from the right side and kind of came across, kind of like a mini jet sweep, just kind of went off tackle there and was able to kind of squeeze through there for the 4-yard touchdown.
So just like that, Bulldogs on top, taking advantage of the poor snap on the punt, and the Bulldogs break on top 6-0, and they'll go for the extra point now against the Tigers. It looks like they're going to bring a kick out. They're going to bring a kicker out. They got a tee out there, Brett, so that's an indicator they're going to kick. That's how I picked that up.
Oh, but they go ahead.
But they're showing a different formation now.
Yeah, they kind of throw the line over there because if nobody goes over there, just going to pass it over there and get the easy 2-point conversion. So
Amdor will be doing the place kicking here on this extra point attempt. Snap, hold, kick is up. Looks like it is good. And with 9:28 to go in the first quarter, Riverside jumps on top, 7-0 over the Tigers. We'll be right back.
Welcome back.
Back here at Bend Field, Riverside breaks on top, taking advantage of the poor snap on the punt by the Tigers, getting a touchdown. First minutes of the game here. Riverside's up 7-0 on the Tigers, and the Bulldogs will be kicking off again to the Tigers here. Amdor will be kicking to the Tigers. So, Brett, some things we noted pregame, taking care of the ball, trying to get some offensive here. Red Oak will have a quick opportunity here to try to put that behind them. And like we said, week 0 game. A lot of kind of rust you're trying to shake off here, and can't replicate that game condition here. So Tigers will be right back at it. The kick is away from Amdor. A good long kick down the field. It's going to go actually all the way in the end zone. Strong leg there. It'll go out of the end zone. So Tigers will take it 1st and 10 at the 20 on the kickoff.
Yeah,
we don't have to happen too much. It's going to be on the 20, I believe. So Tigers will have their second offensive series here. There is a flag on the field. So let's see what we have here.
Do you have somebody leave early on Riverside, or was one of the? Because I don't think one of the Red Oak, unless we have some sort of holding or something as it was up in the air. Usually, when it's something like that going out of the end zone, you just kind of put those things away.
Looks like they are going to. Not sure what the call is. Here we're getting a call. It is chop block. Is that right?
I didn't see what he.
That's chop block motion, I believe. That's on Red Oak, is what the call was. So that will push the ball back. The ball would have been spotted at 20 on the kickoff return.
So we'll go half the distance.
Distance. So the Tigers will start 1st and 10 from the 10. So we talked about those long fields, and here would be an opportune time for the Tigers to get that offense rolling here, get some ground game going, and get this ball down the field because they're backed up against their goal line again here on their second offensive series.
Yeah, and like I said, Riverside has 5 guys on the line of scrimmage with their 3 linebackers right there, so they're really daring the Tigers to
Purdue
run.
under center here, takes a snap and gets not much there, maybe about a yard. I think maybe there's a little problem with the snap exchange there, so it'll be 2nd and 9 here for the Bulldogs in there, causing some havoc. There's Hayden Trumbauer. Hope I pronounced that young man's name, Trumbauer. He is a big person down there, and he's eating up some space on that center position in there for the Riverside Bulldogs.
Yeah, down there at nose guard, just kind of he's eating the blocks and just letting everybody eat, because that's kind of what your job is, your nose guard. See if you can take a double team, that frees up everybody else.
2nd and 9, Purdue under center again, I formation, receiver each side. Purdue with the give, now holds it, rolls out, looking to pass, being chased down, gets rid of the ball, and it's going to be intercepted. Did he stay in bounds? What are they going to mark it? They are waving their hands. I think it is an interception.
They're saying he stayed in bounds, so it looks like he was intercepted there.
Jackson was running. He's under pressure running the other side, and I did not catch the number on the Riverside Bulldog. It stepped in front of it, but picks off Purdue right there kept his foot in bounds there, did not go to bounds. So once again, the Bulldogs opportunistic with a turnover here, and they'll have 1st and 10, Aaron, at the Red Oak 19-yard line.
No, well, Purdue there was kind of rolling to his left, so, especially as a right-handed thrower, that makes it really tough there to kind of flip your hips around and make the throw. So we'll see what Riverside is going to be able to do here on their second offensive series.
Amdor in shotgun formation, in motion, and we're going to have a snap, some sort of line movement there as a flag. And
it's like we got a false start.
And that will be on the Bulldogs, so that'll make it 1st and 15, push the Bulldogs back. I think it's really important for the Tigers here to make a stand, Brett, this early in the quarter. You just don't want to get down 2 scores that quickly, so see if the Tigers can make a defensive stand here and at least maybe hold them to a field goal attempt. Bulldogs here now will have 1st and 15 at the Tiger 24. Bulldogs go 2 receivers short side. Amdor's in a shotgun formation with an up back with him. Calling out to play here. Tigers showing blitz, backing off at it now. Snap goes to Amdor. He gives to his tailback, and that's Hauser up the middle. Picks up some good yards, still on his feet, and he's close to the first down there. Mason Hauser just wouldn't go down. He picks up probably, 12, 13 yards. It's going to be a 2nd and 3. Advances the ball all the way down to about the 14, 13-yard line.
No, he had some really good feet in there going inside there. I know he's a little bit shorter of a kid, so it's kind of hard for those defensive linemen to see him, but he was able to really kind of scoot on through for a good gain.
2nd and 4. Bulldogs at the Tiger 14-yard line here. Bulldogs shift 2 to the wide side now, bring no backs in the backfield. Amdor in a shotgun formation. Now Mauser in motion. Hauser gets the ball, left, cuts back up inside, breaks a tackle, brought down there nicely by a Red Oak Tiger, number 25, Damon Roby, the freshman.
Yeah, he was able to kind of flow over from his linebacker position, really saved that from being a much longer play, but it's still good enough for a 1st down. So Riverside will have it their 1st and goal. It looks like, about the 6-7 yard line.
Yeah, so picks up the 1st down there. Bulldogs getting the call in here. A lot of movement from the Bulldog offense, a lot of shifting formation from one side to weak side. But we've seen several plays now where they like to give that guy in motion the ball on the jet sweep. And we're going to have a 1st and goal here. Jepson's out left here wide for the Bulldogs. Amdor in shotgun formation. He's going to give on that jet sweep to Jepson, come to this side, and nothing there. Big tackle there by Sergio Villanueva. I believe that's who that was.
Yep, Sergio came over from a linebacker position. He was able to flow that really well and kept that to a shorter game where it looked like it was going to probably score there.
So it'll be second and goal at about the 5-yard line here. So jet sweep left, jet sweep right.
No, Riverside so far has shown they like to do a lot of motion, so it's given the Tigers a lot of things to think about, making sure everybody's keeping their assignments.
And Riverside's one of those teams that doesn't really formally huddle. They just kind of look for the call from their coach, and now they've got it, and they're going to go in the same kind of formation here. Andor shotguns, gives it to Hauser. Hauser cuts it inside, now back outside, and he is going to be pushed into the end zone. Touchdown, Mason Hauser.
No, it looks like Riverside's linemen, they're really pulling well. A lot of those kids might not be some of the biggest kids, but they're really flowing well, pulling those positions to really kind of overloading those sides for the Tigers and not allow the good gains there.
Hauser made a really nice cut there. He cut in and he made a juke cut outside and got to the pylon and gets the touchdown there. So Bulldogs up 13-0, going for the extra point now. And this will be Amdor with the extra point attempt for the Bulldogs. Snap, hold, kick. It's good. 6:44 to go in the first quarter. It's Riverside 14, Red Oak nothing. We'll be right back. At Benda Field, where the Riverside Bulldogs have taken opportunities of 2 turnovers by the Tigers to jump in front here, 14-0, 6:44, and Brett, real important here for the Tigers to get a little something going here positively.
Yeah, I mean, between the kind of the missed snap there on the punt and the interception there, Riverside they've started on their own on the 4-yard line and then also on the 20-yard line. The Tigers really need to kind of show, the offense needs to show that we can possess and actually start moving the ball.
Yeah, settle in here a little bit, and just a positive drive, getting some first down will go a long way here. So Tigers will be getting their third kickoff here already, and we're just, 4 or 5 minutes into this game here, and Andor's legs may be getting tired. He's kicked off. He's doing extra points. Maybe that'll affect his long-range kicking here. He dropped one in the end zone here in his last kickoff. So, again, the Tigers have Fisher and Fareed back deep, and the Bulldogs will kick off here to the Tigers. And the kick is away. And, again, it's another long kick. It's going to hit on about the 10 scoot into the end zone, and Tigers will just keep it right there and take 1st and 10 at 20. See no flag. So third possession here for the Tigers offense here, and see if the Tigers can settle in here and get something going with their offense. And I think the one thing in Brett, it has not been obviously a good start for the Tigers, but you're really looking at this game as a development and progressing, and you want to be playing good football, better football here, and settling in. And a lot of these kids, some of it's their first action here. So we'll get some offense going here and move the ball. I think that would go great to help the confidence of the Tigers here.
No, I think it's just one of those things, especially with those linemen. You need to take this a little bit personally and just like, hey, we need to get a lot more aggressive here. We need to start really sustaining our blocks. But pretty much it's going to be tough to run when there's so many guys around the line of scrimmage.
Tigers receiver each side, I formation, Purdue under center. Purdue takes a snap and a give to Free, and Free's going to get a couple yards up the middle before he's brought down there by a host of Bulldogs, including number 55. Who is that? That guy has been on a couple tackles here.
Lucas Manzer there.
Yeah,
for the
football play
Bulldogs.
there.
So, right now what it's proven, even the linebackers are walking up. So, for Red Oak, the blockers there, they're trying to account for eight different Riverside defenders right there, right along the line of scrimmage, kind of just daring the Tigers to pass the ball.
2nd and 9 from the 22 of the Tigers. Purdue under center. With the rollout now, looking to pitch. Nothing there. Breaks a tackle, cuts upfield, picks a couple more yards. Boy, he did well there just to pick up a couple yards before he was brought down there by number 79 of the Riverside Bulldogs.
Oh, I lost my sheet there. But it looked like it's kind of a good decision by Purdue there. It looked like he at first was actually going to pitch the ball there, but kind of decided at the last minute not to. So kind of a good decision for there because that really could have gone bad there for the Tigers.
3rd, and we'll call it 8 for the Tigers at their 22. The line to get is a 30-yard line here. Tigers wide receiver wide, one to short side I formation. Purdue under center. Takes a snap, dropping back, looking, rolling now to his left. Keeps his feet looking. He's just going to throw it in the stands. Had nothing to that side, so it'll be 4th down. The Tigers will punt. Kind of a roll out this side, and I didn't see a receiver out on this side, Brett. And
I think he was supposed to roll out to the left, but because of the penetration there by number 51 there, that would have been Grant Richardson for the Bulldogs, kind of forced him to kind of come back to the right side, and there really wasn't any receivers out there. So kind of a good decision just to throw it away.
So Pace Shelley back to punt again. We'll see if the Tigers can get a good snap here. Shelley's going to stand in about the Tiger 12-yard line here to take this snap. Good snap. And the soccer-style boot is away. It's going to hit at about the 48 and then bounce over across the 50 to about the 48-yard line. A good punt there. Saw kind of that Australian type of rugby kick there. So Bulldogs will start their 3rd possession here on their 48-yard line. We'll keep it right here, I think.
Yeah, Zane Sloan was down there for the Tigers, was able to stop the ball. I think it's just kind of a little bit of inexperience there on special teams. Kind of should have let that ball bounce a few more yards going back, but he was just able there to secure the ball before it went out of bounds and just to make sure there was no return.
So 5:10 to go here in the first quarter. Bulldogs up 14-0 on the Tigers.
Well, we got some real quick time to do the defensive starters for the Tigers.
Sure.
At nose guard, Hayden Jones, Sawyer Purdue's at your kind of left defensive end, Zane Sloan on the right with Sergio Villanueva, Dalton Faree, Damon Roby, your linebackers. On the backside, Hudson Fisher is that safety, Noah Smeary Notice, and Bentley Hughes, your cornerbacks, with Dylan Ryberg and Jackson Purdue kind of as your rovers.
Bulldogs here bring a man in motion. It's Jepson, but the snap goes to Amdor. He's going to keep it up the middle. He's got room. 40 brought down to 38-yard line. He had some open yards there. Dylan Ryberg stopped him. I think he was going to go if it wasn't for Ryberg, but a big gain in the first down for the Bulldogs all the way to the Tiger 38-yard line.
It was one of those things. He was ready. Everybody kind of got used to following those motion mans coming across, but then – when your quarterback then can just pop it up the middle, people aren't staying home like they should. So Ryberg was really able to kind of save a touchdown run on that one.
So 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at the Tiger 38-yard line. Bulldogs with receiver each side. Have Hauser in tailback position, up position, Amdor in shotgun formation. Amdor barking out the signals. Takes the snap, gives to Hauser. Hauser's got room up the middle, cuts it back inside down to the 28, 29-yard line, just short of the first down. It'll be 2nd and 1.
No, he was able to go right off the kind of the right side guard there, between the guard and tackle there. Big old hole there that had kind of been created there, and there wasn't a Tiger there for about 9 yards, for that 9-yard gain.
Yeah, nice job there by the Bulldog offensive line to open that hole here. When you got a 2nd and 1, it creates all kinds of opportunities here when you have a 2nd and 1. But, if the ground game is going, Bulldogs have not put a ball in the air yet tonight. If you're making yards on the ground, Brett, you might as well keep at that. So I anticipate we'll see that here.
Why chance it? When you throw the ball, 3 things can happen. 2 of them are bad.
Give to Hauser. Hauser cuts up inside, now back outside, juking down to 20. Stiffs arm down to 14 before he's brought down. Nice running there by Mason Hauser. He takes it all the way down to Tiger 14 before he's brought down there by Hudson Fisher. But again, Hauser just with good moves there, not really big speed, but very elusive and eluding tackles and drags it all the way down to 14-yard line.
No, it's since they're so multiple here, and really just because of all the motion there, it's really forcing some of these younger Tiger players to make sure they're very sound on where they're playing, make sure they're doing their assignments.
Hauser, just a sophomore. He's 5'7", 165. Very shifty kind of back. He's not big, not really speedy, but boy, he's very shifty and elusive and been very effective so far. Amdor now with the snap, keeps it, rolls out. We got a flag. Something here, probably motion.
Well, yeah, if they're stopping the play, probably going to be a false start here.
So, that will be,
unless the Tigers lined up in the neutral zone.
This will be on the Bulldogs.
It's like we got a false start there.
Push it back 5 yards here.
To about the 20-yard line.
Mm-hmm. This will be 1st and 15 at the Tiger 20-yard line here. And Bulldogs offense is they don't really huddle. They're all looking at the sideline for their play call, assuming from head coach Tyler Johansson. His first game as head coach for the Bulldogs, longtime assistant with the Bulldogs. And clock is 20 is a 25 second. You have to help me, Brad. I can't remember. Is it a 25 seconds play clock?
Well, yeah, after
or
that is after a penalty. Yeah, 25.
So here we go, Amdor up. We're going to have a jump there. I think a Tiger jumped that time, so the Tiger's going to give that 5 yards right back, Aaron, Brett.
Yep, I guess we're just going back and forth a little bit. I suppose, just kind of that first game there sometimes, you're just going to have some of those mistakes starting out the first thing. So kind of working some of those kinks out.
So we're back where we started, 1st and 10 at the 15 for the Bulldogs. Gibson to the short side, out to the wide side for the Bulldogs is Kurt Rigkin. And Hauser in the up position with Amdor in the shotgun formation. Amdor takes it, gives to Hauser. Hauser goes white, big hole, cuts back inside, looks for the end zone. He's got it. Standing now, goes in standing, and that's a touchdown for Mason Hauser. That is his 3rd touchdown of the game, and we're still in the first quarter.
No, that was a good play. Actually, their tight end was able to kind of take out the defensive end and allowed him to really cut up there to, kind of run up the middle there. So that was just kind of and this is where they're talking about if the Tigers didn't move over, they took the snap, they just kind of passed it over to the side, and they actually got the 2-point conversion on that. And so when you have the line going all the way over to one side, that's why you need to have guys make sure they move over.
We'll be right back after these messages. 22-0 Riverside over Red Oak. Here at Bend the Field's been all Bulldogs here. We're still in the first quarter, 2:35 to go. It's 22-0. Bulldogs have taken advantage of a couple Tiger turnovers and then had a decent drive of 52 yards to get a touchdown. And Bulldogs here are kicking off for the 4th time to the Tigers here. Good crowd here tonight, looking for something to cheer from the Tigers' perspective here, as the Bulldogs have really come out and kind of taken to the Tigers here so far. Amdor has kicked the ball a lot tonight, guys, between extra points and kickoffs. And he's got another one here, and that one is just absolutely pounded. That goes into the end zone, so he's got a very strong leg. So Tigers take 1st and 10 at the 20. Tigers going to try to get something going here offensively, and I think, Brett, they need to get a little bit of movement and push on that offensive line here.
Well, it really kind of messes up kind of your blocking schemes when you do have basically 8 men on the line of scrimmage for the Riverside. They're just bringing 5 men on the line. The linebackers are pretty much just walking up in the gap. So it's kind of right now a numbers game until the Tigers can maybe figure out to be able to pass a little bit to kind of loosen that up.
Tigers have some height advantage out there at the wide receiver position, but like I say, I've not been able to take advantage of that here. Tigers go with that receiver each side. Purdue under center, I formation. Purdue takes a snap, and he's going to just keep the ball. Looked like he wanted to hand it off, but wasn't there, so he just had to keep it and tuck it up in there and picks up maybe a yard.
Yeah, maybe just a yard on that, kind of went off the left side there. Just really wasn't a whole lot of push there, and especially with some of these, the backs that we have kind of coming in. Free, this would be really his first year kind of full-time starting there. Roby being a freshman, kind of his first year. So probably some jitters out there.
Absolutely.
Trying to get some of the plays and remember what the verbiage is.
Knowing your assignment and knowing where to go is a big part of it here. So 2nd and 9 here for the Tigers at their 22-yard line. Same formation, Purdue under center, I formation. Bulldogs with a blitz now up the middle. Purdue keeps it, but again, not much there. The Bulldogs, like you said, are just playing all run right now, Brett.
Well, and I think some of that might have been a busted play a little bit. I think Jackson was looking for somebody to go that, when he was kind of started to roll out to the right side, nobody was there, so he just kind of had to go right up and take what he could get.
Uriah Reed, number 11, 5 foot 10-inch bowling ball of a lineman and linebackers was in on that play there for the Bulldogs. 3rd and 8 here for the Tigers. Tigers bring Sloan out wide to the wide side. And they have Smirnotis to the short side, I formation. Purdue rolls to the wide side, looking now under pressure, trying to get away. He's going to throw the ball away. Good pressure there from the Bulldogs defensive end. Force that pass away, and it'll be 4th down for the Tigers.
No,
surprised they didn't. They almost think we're going to throw a flag on that but no
I think they kind of
that.
said there was a guy kind of over there, but it really looks like number 51 there, Grant Richardson for the Riverside defense. He's kind of playing that outside linebacker, sometimes defensive end on that left side, is really having his way and blew that play up.
Yeah, he put tremendous pressure on there. So Paige Shelley is back to kick for the Tigers. He'll stand on about the Tiger 10-yard line. Gibson is back, standing about his Bulldogs 45-yard line here. Going to reposition the ball on the left hash here for this punt. 1:09 to go in the first quarter. Riverside 22, Red Oak nothing. And the Bulldogs going to be set up here with good field position. Again, barring some issue. Low snap here, but it's fielded by Shelley, and he gets the kick away. It's going to bounce at about the 45, take a good Red Oak bounce, cross midfield down to about the Bulldog 43-yard line. So be 1st and 10 there. Let's take a quick break. About a minute to go in the first quarter. Riverside 22, Red Oak nothing. We'll be right back after this message. Back at Bend the Field here in Red Oak, where the Riverside Bulldogs on top 22-0 over the Tigers. 58 seconds to go in the first quarter. Riverside now with their 4th possession. They've scored on every possession, and the snap goes to Hauser. Hauser cuts back inside and brought down there by Hayden Jones. Hayden Jones was late on the field getting there, but nonetheless got in on a tackle there.
Yeah, Jackson Purdue was able to do there. Probably one of the best plays for the Red Oak defense there, kind of stopping the run.
So Tigers here need to make a stand as the clock is ticking down here in the first quarter. Be 2nd and 7. The Bulldogs with the ball at their 46. And they're going to have to run a play here before the end of the quarter. And they're going to bring a receiver wide to the wide side. That would be Court Rican. And Amdor's in a shotgun formation. He gives the Hauser on that jet sweep, and he cuts it back inside, now back outside, and slipping tackles, breaking tackles. Tigers finally wrestle him to the ground there. Boy, he eluded 3 or 4 tacklers and picked up a positive yard. Did not get the first down, but it'll be 3rd and 3, and that'll be the end of the first quarter. So in the first quarter here in Red Oak, it's Riverside 22, Red Oak nothing. We'll be back after these messages. Back up in the field, start of the second quarter. It's Riverside 22, Red Oak nothing. Brett, you got some other scores?
Just one of the local scores that we highlighted before the game there. HSTW was up on Missouri Valley 13-7 in the first quarter.
Keep an eye on that Mo Valley team that you said. I think they've got a up-and-coming program. They got a good number of kids out. They got a lot of playmakers back from last year. It's a program that's been on hard times the last several years. But I think the Big Red, right? They're the Big Red. They're going to make some noise this year. So we have 3rd and 3 here, ball right at the 50-yard line for the Bulldogs. Amdar, and we're going to have a motion penalty there on the Bulldogs, so that'll push them back 5 here. But you get the sense here, Brett, there's a chance here on this 3rd down the Tigers can make a hold here defensively, and that could be positive momentum here for the Tigers if they can get a stop here on this 3rd and we'll call it, 8-yard need here for a first down for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, well, especially if it was that close. If it was probably even 4th or 1 or 2, they'd probably even just go for it. But here, if the Tigers can hold here, it might actually force Riverside to punt.
This is where you need a big play defensively to hold down the fort here on this 3rd down attempt by the Bulldogs. Amdor takes a snap, rolling back now, looking for a pass. He's going to throw it deep, looking for Gibson. Gibson's got it at the 10, 5. He's dragged down at about the 4-yard line. And they go to the air for the first time tonight. And Amdor rolls to the left and finds his favorite receiver, Cole Jepson, and he takes it all the way down to the Tiger 4-yard line.
No, Pace Shelley was there and was able to make the tackle before he went in, but it's one of those things, I think, with all the running, kind of sucked all your safeties up, and he was able to kind of run right past, and it was a good big throw. It was probably at least a 40-yard pass with that. So,
yeah,
good pass, good catch.
Put the ball right on the money there to Gibson. He hauls it in over his shoulder, and he's down at the 5, the mark at the 5. So Bulldogs knocking on the door again against the Tigers. Amdor now in the shotgun formation. 2 backs with him. The give to Hauser. He cuts up inside. Touchdown, Bulldogs. That's his 4th touchdown of the night for Mason Hauser. Bulldogs.
Just kind of ran right off the right guard there, and they've had success with that all night. So just kind of one of those things that we'll see if the Tigers kind of learn from the last one, make sure they move guys over to force Riverside to actually kick.
Bulldogs show that formation. Now they shift into the kick formation, bring their linemen down and set them in, and Amdor will kick this ball here, unless there's another trick up the sleeve here for the Bulldogs. But the snap is good, the hold is down, the kick is up, and it is good. And with 11:43 to go in the second quarter, it's Bulldogs 29, Tigers nothing. We'll be right back. Here at Bentonville and Red Oak, Riverside has controlled this game, 29-0 over the Tigers here. Early in the second quarter, guys, here, and Tigers are going to get the ball for the 5th time here. And like we've been saying, for the Tigers, a lot of opportunities here, and a young team for this Tiger team, a lot of young men seeing their first time in varsity action here. So Tigers here playing a Bulldog team that has come ready to play tonight. Amdor will be kicking the ball here. Tigers will be going from north to south. Kick is away. Another good deep kick. This kid's got a leg. I tell you what, everything goes in. That one went out of the end zone, guys. So first and 10 for the Tigers. That's quite a threat when you got a kicker that can kick it out of the end zone on a kickoff.
And we can't say it was the win because the flag's pretty much laying down right now. So he was able to kick it out of the end zone on both sides.
I'm assuming he's got a big leg for field goals too. That'll be a weapon for the Bulldogs down here. When you got a kid that can kick like that, you're in scoring position anytime you're inside about the 35, 40-yard line. But here we are, Tigers, with the another opportunity offensively. First and 10 at their 20. We'll take possession here for the Tigers. Tigers will send Sloan out here wide one side, Ryberg the other side. And they've got Purdue under center. They move Smiriotis into the slot position here. Single tailback for the Tigers. Purdue with the keeper now. It's going to pick up a couple yards, just kind of turned and took a dive down the middle and picks up a couple yards, so it'll be 2nd and 8 for the Tigers.
I think Tigers kind of got by with that one there. I think they actually broke the huddle with one too many guys. They had 12 there because Sloan just kind of stepped out of bounds. They let him. So I think there was just a lot of confusion on that play.
It's a courtesy extra player there for the Tigers.
I mean, he stepped out, but you really can't break that huddle with there. So
2nd and 8 for the Tigers at their 22-yard line here. Tigers receiver each side. Purdue under center. Fullback up. Now Purdue under pressure, trying to escape, running to the right, trying to get the pass away, and it is away, and it was going to call it incomplete. Incomplete. It was tipped, I believe, but Purdue was under pressure. He was trying to get it to his receiver.
Bentley Hughes there. He's a freshman also. I think it was one of those things that Bentley, instead of kind of sitting down, if he was able to actually stay on his feet and just keep moving, I think if he would have caught it, he would have had a pretty good game there.
Yeah, but the Tigers are making a noticeable effort to roll out on their pass plays, which Purdue has that ability and mobility to do that. So here we are, 3rd and 8. You would think something similar will be coming here for the Tigers on this 3rd and 8 call at their 22. In fact, Roby is in the up position of fullback. Purdue steps back now, rolls to his right, looking, gets the ball away. It's going to be incomplete. It's looking for Smiriotis on the wide side, was not there, incomplete. So it will be 4th down for the Tigers.
No, it's just so far Jackson Purdue really hasn't had a whole lot of time to throw the ball. And, the offensive line for the Tigers really needs to kind of step up here and give them some time and actually try to blow some holes open here.
Yeah, so Tigers will be punting here. Pace Shelley out again to punt for the Tigers. And actually Purdue is an up man here. They're looking for some sort of signal from the sideline here. Snap is to Shelley. Shelley with a rugby-style kick. Kick is away. Pretty good kick as we fielded by Gibson, though, at the 45, up to 50. Go for 45. He's got room. 35. He could go. 20, 25. No one's going to get him. Touchdown, Bulldogs on a 40, we'll call it 54-yard punt return for Cole Jepson.
And I think that was one of those things on the punt. They were kind of hoping he was going to stay to the side a little bit further, but he was able to catch it right on the hash there, and pretty much there was no Tigers on the right side of the formation, them coming across, so it was pretty much an easy run right into the end zone. Probably, about 50, 55 yards there for him.
Yeah, wide open. So now the Bulldogs will be out for another extra point attempt, we assume here. But, yeah, it had wide side there and free roam down the right side and takes it to the end zone. And now we've got some sort of timeout here. Coach Gray is going to huddle his Tigers here before this extra point. So let's take a break here, a quick break. We'll be right back after this message. Back up in the field here, all Bulldogs. They're going to line up here for an extra point attempt. Tigers here called a timeout. Week 0 games, Brett. Games are getting underway across the state. Most teams are having scrimmages around the state tonight, but some teams are having games. Red Oak's one of them. Stanton will get a call, score on the Stanton score. East Mills, Griswold games going on tonight. And here in Red Oak, we've got Riverside taking on the Tigers, and Riverside is now doing their extra point attempt. We've seen a lot of these tonight. They shift their linemen down, and they'll do the snap here for the extra point attempt for the Tigers, or for the Bulldogs. Good crowd here for Red Oak tonight. Snap, hold, kick up, good. And with that, 35-36-0. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Back at Bend the Field here, Tigers and the Bulldogs of Riverside were in the second quarter, and boy, the off-air banter between Iowa and Iowa State is heating up in the press box.
You're already making excuses for Iowa State.
press
You're
box-
already making excuses,
Press box
Matt.
is heating up with Iowa State,
Wow.
Iowa talk. But here we go. Bulldogs will be kicking off to the Tigers, and it will be Tigers Fisher and Free deep for the Tigers. Kick is away, and let's see if Amdor puts another one in the end zone. He sure does. This kid has kicked almost everything in the end zone and through the uprights. He is a weapon with that leg. He is a really good kicker and a good quarterback as well. So 1st and 10 for the Tigers at the 20-yard line. Tigers will try to get something going here offensively on an opening night of college football 2026. Guys, we're going to see a lot of football in Southwest Iowa this year, a lot of intriguing teams. One I'm kind of intrigued to see is Woodbine, 8-man team. They've got maybe the number one player in the state of Iowa, a kid named Landon Bloom. I think I pronounced his name. I hope I pronounced his name right. He is a quality player. There's going to be a lot of good players on Friday Night Football. Here we go. Tigers 1st and 10 at their 20. Purdue under center. Tigers receiver each side. Purdue with the snap. Looking nowhere to go, but it's loose. Finds yardage. Biggest play of the night for the Tigers are on a busted play, I think, Brett. Almost picks up the first down. It's going to be 2nd and 1.
It was either a really good fake or a busted play. So
one of the two.
So, yeah, it looked like Purdue was going to try to roll left with that thing, kind of almost motioned it like it was going to be there. Nobody was there. He just kind of turned and ran on the right side and was able to get 9 yards there.
So 2nd and 1 here. So Tigers get good yardage on that first down play here. Advance the ball at the 29-yard line. Tigers pretty much showing the same formation here. Receiver each side, up, back, and Purdue's just going to move before the quarterback sneak, and that's a first down for the Tigers. So Tigers get their first down in the game, get something positive going there. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tigers. No matter how you get it, Brett, it's just important to move that ball, move those chains, give those kids something a little positive energy there.
Oh, absolutely. And right now, the Tiger defensive line, the Tiger offensive line is a lot bigger. You kind of have that philosophy, are you going to be quick or are you going to be big? Yeah. And, if we're going to be big, we really need to take that to our advantage and really start leaning on some of these guys.
Purdue under center here. 1st and 10 for the Tigers at their 31-yard line. Purdue drops back, looking to pass under pressure. Screen pass to Ryberg. Nice play there. Completed, but picks up a couple yards, but a nice defensive play in there by the Bulldogs. One guy was there for the Bulldogs, and he made that play, Uriah Reed. I think Ryberg would have had some open space if it hadn't been for that.
Yeah, kind of a little tunnel screen going there on the right side. Just trying some different things, just whatever you can to kind of slow down this Riverside rush.
Yeah, good
defensive line really coming up.
Good play call there. The rush came up, and Purdue was able to get the ball to Ryberg, but not much yardage there. But nonetheless, positive yardage on first down. So it's 2nd and 7 here for the Tigers at the 34. Tigers, same formation. Bulldogs showing blitz here. They give. Purdue rolls out, cuts up inside, cuts it backside. Nice move there. Picks up a couple yards there.
Kind of faked the pitch out there to try to take the cornerback out. Was able to juke kind of in there, but looked like he had number 2 there, Mason Hauser. And Lucas Manzer there for Riverside was there on the tackle. But
we've called Manzer's name quite a bit so far tonight. Coming off that defense line position. So 3rd and 5 here, Brett. Line to get is just past the 41-yard line here. Let's see what the Tigers dial up here on the 3rd and 5 play. Purdue under center. He's going to just keep the ball and push forward. And it's going to be a yard short. It's going to be 4th and 1. I don't know, maybe go for it here, Brett. What do you think? Down and score? You got nothing to lose here. Maybe pick up a first down?
I think you almost, depending on where the spot is here.
So he's going to be about a yard.
Oh, they're actually going to call it a first down. It looked like when they actually put it down, it gave him the first down there. So
he picked up a little extra yard on that push at the end, so it'll be first down for the Tigers.
No, it kind of also allows them to now burn at least another couple minutes off the clock here. Yeah. They got a little positive momentum going, see if they can kind of bring a little bit more energy there on the offensive line to kind of push forward.
Tigers have strung a couple first downs together here. Purdue under center. Tigers take the snap. Purdue drops back, gives 2. Believe that's free. Nothing there. Maybe a yard at the most. Good pursuit there by the Bulldogs.
No, you had Uriah Reed in there, and as long as Mason Hauser, they just kind of came in from their linebacker spots and was able to kind of shut down that run right away for no gain. So like I said, I've said it before, it was one of those things. They've been really loading up the box. They got about 8 guys right along the line of scrimmage. So, it kind of is tough for that offensive line to figure out who they're supposed to block and get some of these holes open.
So 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. Purdue under center with the step back now, runs up the middle, picks up some positive yardages to about the 45. So nothing fancy here by the Tigers, but they're moving the ball in the right direction, and that's progress here. So it's 3rd and 6 here, we'll call it. Brett, line to get is just across the 50 to 49.
Yeah, it looks like about 6 yards here. I think that was kind of a read there by Purdue to see if he could get anything outside, but nothing was there, so he just kind of took what he could get. So sometimes that's what you got to do, get 2 or 3 yards as opposed to losing some.
Yeah, and like I say, that some good things here for the Tigers on this drive. 3rd and 6 here, see if they can get a play here on 3rd down to keep possession. Might even be 4 down territory depending on what they do here, Brett. Purdue under center, and he takes the snap, dropping back, looking for a pass, rolling to right, rolling under pressure. Going to go down, dropped. And do we have a flag down? I don't see one. Is there? No. So it's going to be 3rd and 8, we'll call it. So I don't know. Tigers go for it here. You punt it. What do you do here,
4th
Brett?
and 8.
4th and 8, excuse me.
I think you almost got to punt it here and just really make sure you have your punter. Make sure he's almost punting it to the out of bounds there on the far side of the Riverside bench. I think there was something that would have been there. No smearing notice was out there and out for the pass. If he would have been able to kind of turn around a little bit quicker, help his quarterback out there, I think it would have been completed for a 1st down.
Tigers appear to be going for it here, lining up. It looks like they're going for him 4th and 8 from their 43-yard line. Purdue under center.
See if they try to go
Takes
hard.
the snap.
Nope.
He's going to drop back, looking. He's going to try to get the pass away. Gets the pass away, looking for Ryberg. Ryberg good. So catch it to 40, 30, 20, 10. Knocked out of bounds. The 7 Tigers with a big 4th down conversion. A long pass play. Dylan Ryberg with that big paw. Hauls in that ball.
No, had to use all 6'5" of his frame there. He was kind of had the one hand there, was able to tip it to himself, and basically he was all by himself, rumbling and bumbling down all the way down to the 5. Hopefully gets a little energy back into this crowd and also back into the team. So the Tigers really need to take advantage of this and punch this ball in.
Yeah, nice conversion there on 4th down. Purdue was under pressure, got that ball out, and Ryberg just really reached out with that left hand, one-handed, snagged it right in, and like I said, rumbled down all the way to the 6-yard line. So 1st and goal for the Tigers at the 6. Purdue under center. He gives to the freshman Roby. Roby in the middle being pushed by his big Hayden Jones. Just get behind him and try to push him there. Picks up a couple yards down to maybe the 3-yard line.
No, sometimes you just got to get behind and everybody's just got to push. So especially offensive line here down at this time is about staying low. You need to get leverage so you can actually start moving guys out of the way. So it looks like Faree's coming in for Roby here.
2nd and goal here, and you got to think this is 4 down territory for the Tigers.
Oh, absolutely.
This.
I think you have to go 4 down. You have to go in for it.
Let's see if the Tigers do a little rollout here. Maybe they get one of those big receivers here in the corner end zone with those big frame bodies here to get past. They're going to pitch it wide to Fisher. Fisher cuts inside. He's going to be dragged down about the 2-3 line. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 2.
No, looking at how Riverside was there, I was actually hoping they were just going to run it right up the middle because it looked like they were a little soft and that they'd actually sent their guys out to the edges a little bit. So we'll kind of see if the Tigers are able to see if they're just going to go right up the middle here, maybe go right over Hayden Jones and see if he can kind of lead them in.
Yeah, Hayden's got that size. He's an experienced player. It's be a good guy to run behind here. 3rd and goal from the 3-yard line for the Tigers. Tigers knocking on the door here. Purdue under center. Takes a snap. He's going to go up the middle. The line push gets him close. They're going to mark him just short inside the 1, so it'll be, 4th and less than a yard here for a touchdown. So Tigers will be going for this, obviously. So 4th and goal.
Yeah, with the little tush push there, I think we're going to see the same thing here going up. I don't think there's any reason why you just don't kind of lean on those guys in the middle. Hey, pay attention with that ball getting snapped, and everybody just push as hard as they can.
You could see the Philadelphia Eagle, and I think that's exactly what you're going to see here. Good call, Brett. Purdue under center here. Snap and the push, but he's going to break it outside. Cuts inside, touchdown. Tigers.
No, he kind of got stood up there right in the middle, but he was able to kind of just bounce off there and was able to go off the left side and get enough in for the touchdown. Good read by Purdue.
There's some positive stuff for the Tigers on that. Good drive down the field. They get the touchdown on a 1-yard keeper by Jackson Purdue. Tigers on the board here.
No, that's a big play for the offense there. Get maybe a little bit of confidence in there for them, and make sure we put this one here with Pace Shelley doing the the extra point duties here.
Tigers with a good drive there, converting on a big play on a fourth down, a long pass play to Dylan Ryberg, and Jackson Purdue takes it in for the touchdown. Pace Shelley now on for the extra point for the Tigers. Snap, hold, kick is blocked. I think the snap was a little low, so the kick didn't come clean. But nonetheless, Tigers are on the board. 1:40 to go in the first half here. Riverside 36, Red Oak 6. We'll be right back. Back here at Bend the Field, Tigers put together a long drive. Jackson Purdue going in for a touchdown there on the board. 36-6, Riverside over the Tigers. But, Brett, a lot of positive things we saw in that last drive from the Tigers.
Oh, absolutely. You got to, just Tigers started moving the ball a little bit, especially then led off by the big pass play by Jackson Purdue rolling out kind of to his left there, was able to find Dylan Ryberg. He was able to kind of use his full 6'5" frame to kind of tip that ball to himself, ran all the way down to the 5. So, big play for the Tigers there. So let's hopefully they can bring some of that energy to the defense here. And with 1:40 to go here in the half, hopefully hold Riverside.
Yeah, even though it's
keep
a
them out of the end zone.
Minute 40, trying to keep it even on this kick here, covering the kick. Gibson, I'm assuming, is back. He's going to be dangerous. There's a kick is away. It's going to go kick to the short side, a short kick to the left side. Fielded by the Bulldogs up to the 40, out to the 45, before he's brought down by the Tigers. So they'll have Bulldogs will have good field position at their 45 with 1:35 to go. They've got all their timeouts here. So that's a lifetime when you got 3 timeouts left on the board. So Tigers are going to need to make a defensive stand here. Again, if the Tigers can somehow keep them out of the end zone here with 1:35 to go, that would be another big boost. The Tigers have not held Riverside yet since they've had the ball. We're being rewarded here.
We got one Lisa Join up here.
Lisa Join has brought all kinds of good treats from the concession stand.
I find it interesting that Matt instantly goes straight toward the table over there. Did you notice that, Brett?
Oh, yeah.
Amdor with the snap now on the quarterback keeper up the middle. And we got a flag. I think this is going to be a face mask, guys.
Yeah, it looked like Dylan Ryberg was there on the tackle there. But
so the ball spotted at the Tiger 49. And it's going to, if we're correct on this, it'll be tacked on here. This will give them a first down and move the ball down the field. Chris Johnson with the call. It is a face mask. It is on Red Oak. And that'll mark that off. That'll be it's a 10 or 15-yarder.
15-yarder.
15-yarder. So I'll move the ball all the way down to the Tiger 34-yard line here. So Tigers really haven't committed a lot of penalties. I think that's only their second or third penalty tonight. They've had a couple false starts.
That's kind of a big one there because it actually stops the clock.
Yeah.
Because before on the run play, you would have had to force Riverside to take a timeout. You give them an extra 15 yards there with the clock stopped. So be really up to the Tigers here to kind of bow up here on defense.
I see John Blumstead in the stands with his grandson Oliver. Here we go, Amnor with a deep pass now, looking for a receiver. It's going to be incomplete. Nice coverage there by Smear. Notice they were trying to get it to their wide receiver, Bennett Huff, but he was well covered there. So it'll be 2nd and 10.
So, kind of the thing that they got the Tigers on last time, it looks like the Tigers were actually prepared for that, thinking, kind of where they're at, that they're going to probably try to throw over the top here and try to get a big play.
Yeah, I think that's only their second pass of their night for the Bulldogs. They completed another one for long touchdown. So here we go. Amdor looking for the play call from the sideline from his coach. Under 8 seconds on the play clock here. 1:17 to go in the first half. Bulldogs seem a little confused here. Down the clock, they're going to call timeout. They're going to say they're getting close down that time clock. They're going to burn a timeout here. Let's keep it right here. 1:17 to go. Ball is at the Tiger 34-yard line. I get the sense the Tigers here last half of the second quarter, they seem to be a little bit more settled. They see, the nerves, whatever. I think that offensive series or defense seems to be a little bit more settled here. And, that first game, guys, week 0 game, it's just, that's part of it. You learn a lot in that game. And I think that one of the adages I've always heard is the team improves the most from the first game to the second game because of that, especially when you got a team that's maybe a little bit inexperienced.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're still learning everything with that. And I've already noticed, at least on the offensive line for the Tigers, they actually got a couple guys in different positions. They've actually moved a few guys in. So sometimes that's, how you figure out who's actually ready to play at the varsity level. You get in the game.
And Jackson Purdue, really his first time under center as a quarterback. He's had some limited opportunities last year, but, that's another big leap for that young man. For him. And now here we go first, or handoff to Hauser up the middle for the Bulldogs. Excuse me, that's not Hauser. That's number 22. That would be Peyton Scheckengear, and he's got the first down, and he's all the way down to the Tiger, we're going to mark it 22-yard line. So just a quick handoff up the middle.
Well, it's actually a double handoff there. They handed it one, and then they had the guy come across right underneath him, almost like a trap on that one. So kind of a big misdirection there.
1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. Amador takes a snap, looking, rolling to right now, takes off, cuts upfield, inside of 10, 15, he might go, and he does on the keeper, touchdown, Peyton Amdar. He went back to pass, didn't see anybody, tucked it up, and took it to the house.
Now, and that's kind of the tough thing on those defensive ends. You really got to make sure you kind of keep contained on that side, and they were able to kind of, Riverside was able to bring down and kind of force the defensive end down, and so kind of just really opened up that running lane.
So the Bulldogs score here right before half, just under a minute to go in this half. And they're doing their shift thing on the extra point attempt here. And Amdor will kick now for the Bulldogs. Snap, hold, kick. It is good. We'll keep it here. 42-6, Riverside over. We're probably going to have a running clock in the second half, guys. Tigers with less than a minute to go here in half. Just run some good plays here. Nothing fancy I expect from the Tigers. Riverside will get the ball to start the second half here, but Coach Gray will have a lot to address with his team at halftime in the locker room, Brett, and I think this is one of those moments where you say, guys, we got a long season. We need to get better in the second half. The second half will be an important half for this Tigers, regardless of the scoreboard.
Oh, yeah, he's just going to tell them it's 0-0 right now. We're just going in the second half here. Let's see if we can win the second half. And, the scoring drive, there were some decent things happening, but it comes down to this point, hey, coaches can tell you what your assignments are, but at some point we have to start executing. And so kind of a little look in your mirror, make sure, you really up your effort because, Riverside has really brought it tonight. They have really played with intensity. They've played with speed. Now the Tigers have to start to match that. And so hopefully they can come out in the second half and do that.
Yeah, and that's what I say, it's first game of the year, every quarter is vital for development and growth. And so second half will be an important half for the Tigers to show some of that here. Like I said, we've seen a little bit here in the second quarter. I think kind of a little bit of a stunning start there for the Tigers, and they've settled in here. So big second half coming up, even though the scoreboard would indicate not. Amador will kick off for the Tigers here. Fisher free back deep. Mr. Amdor has definitely shown us that he can kick the football tonight, guys. Seems like all I have seen him kicking field goals or extra points and kickoffs. And here we go. He will let it rip, and it's another deep kick. This is going to actually be a little short compared to where he's kicked it, but it's going to land about the 5, take a bounce into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Tiger will take 1st and 10 at the 20 here. Clock is running, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, Tigers will maybe get one play off here, then probably just elect to take it to half.
Yeah,
in fact, they haven't even spotted the ball. They might not even have to take a snap.
We'll see here, but if the Tigers want to take a snap or not, 25 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, because they're just doing to play now. They can actually hold
it. They'll
run
a play here, though. I think they're going to run a play here. Purdue in shotgun formation here. Clock is still ticking. Looks like they're going to take a play here. Purdue takes a shotgun formation, dropping back, looking to pass, rolling to the right, looking. Nice little move there. Nice move by Purdue. picking up positive yardage, and he's going to get close to a first down. The clock will expire, but again, just dodging tacklers there, doing a nice little positive play. Go to halftime here, and the clock is. I'm not sure the referees are still spotting the ball here. We got the clock shows 0, but the players are still on the field. There seems to be some discussion between the Red Oak coach and the referee. I'm not sure.
I don't know if it's a time issue. I don't know, because it didn't look like he stepped out of bounds.
No, I mean, the clock clearly is at zeros, and that will be halftime. I'm not sure what the issue was there, but it is halftime. 43-6, Riverside over Red Oak. We'll be back right after that. This with the halftime extravaganza show led by Brett Eubank. Where it's halftime, all Riverside over the Tigers 43-6. Halftime here. Matt Davis, Brett Eubank, Aaron West, and our stats reporter, Timberly Bentley. Timberly, we're going to forego stats for tonight's game so far.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk to you a little bit about the Montgomery County Family YMCA, where you work. Tell us about what you do and what's your role at the Montgomery County Family YMCA.
I am the programs director. I'm in charge of all programming youth sports, adult sports, and some other small things like pickleball and tennis. I enjoy it. I had a great teacher for 2 years, and then he decided to leave me.
Well,
Easy though.
With
Easy
the
now.
chaos.
I had to move into more
Easy now.
easier line of work.
I don't know about great teacher. Let's just
Right,
go with
right.
teacher.
So tell me, you're in flag football season now, right?
Yes.
How many kids out? Tell me about your flag football. Who are your coaches? That sort of stuff.
We have 47 kids across first grade and
And that's
fourth
higher than
grade.
last year, right?
That is 10. I think 10. I think last year we had exactly 40. First grade. So we decided to split them into grades this year instead of intermixing between the 4 grades. Seth Asias is coaching first grade.
I've heard of that guy.
Eric Van Osdale is coaching the second grade. Blaine Johnson is coaching third grade, and Marty Coates is coaching the fourth grade.
So you got good coaches there, and you're playing like in a league, or how? What are the game
Yeah.
situations?
We play in a league with Clarinda, Bedford, Villisca, Corning, and Shan.
And practices are held at Inman Field.
Yep.
How many times do you practice in those guys?
We
kids?
practice twice a week on Monday and Thursdays.
I got a question. With that big hill on the south side, do you make them run that giant hill up and down?
No, they
Why
run.
not?
Listen, watching them for the last 3 years now. It has been crazy. They run so much. Anyway, they run after everything.
They run after butterflies. They
Yeah.
see that it doesn't matter.
And that's why parents sign them up. Make
Yeah.
them tired before you send them home.
Oh yeah.
But so when will Red Oak host a day where they will host games and so
Yeah.
people can come watch?
Yeah, we'll host on September 19th at the sports complex out in the outfield of the baseball fields.
So they'll be able to see all the various Red
Yep.
Oak teams,
Yep.
especially those little first graders. Their first time
Yeah.
in sports. It's got
Yeah, they're very fun.
Yeah, that would be what a huddle is.
Mm-hmm.
What the line of scrimmage is, which some of our sports teams, Brett, like the Iowa State Cyclones, have problems with that sometimes. See,
Well, the whole right and left thing.
Right.
You know.
So you got flag football. What else is going on at the Y?
We have volleyball, which is we have 60 girls out.
Oh,
They're
my.
3rd through 6th grade, and when I was watching the registration numbers come in, I was stressing. But we have some awesome volunteer coaches that are coaching both of the teams that we had to split the grades into. Each grade had to be split into 2 teams for enough playing time, and making sure everyone gets to be played and have fun.
Yeah, and that speaks volumes to the
Yep.
volleyball. Who are some of your volleyball coaches you have helping out?
6th grade, we have Melanie Rohrig, Beth Rabine, Lexi DeWard, and Kaylee Hudson. And then 5th grade, I got to think, Monica Blay, Melanie Rohrig again, Claudia Balta, and Tiffany McCardle. 4th grade is Steph Berglund and Emily Lathrop. And 3rd grade is Lexi Hologram and Josie Starling.
All those people you name are great coaches,
Yeah.
great,
Oh, yeah.
great moms, and that speaks volumes right there to a program when you have that kind of quality of volunteer coaches. Their season will last for how long? Will this youth volleyball season will last?
They'll kind of go till the end of October. Same with flag football. They're really busy. They usually have tournaments every weekend, but most of the teams practice twice a week, and they have lots of fun.
So what else is going on new at the Y? What other things are happening at the YMCA Big? You've done a lot of enhancements. The weight room is much different now. What happened in the weight room?
We got brand new equipment. We started in December and finally ended in, I think, beginning of May, end of April. And we actually moved all of our cardio equipment to the tennis viewing area to create more room in the weight room for weight equipment.
And tell us who some of the new leaders are now at the YMCA that have been on the staff.
We have Adam Graybill, who is our CEO, and our community engagement, who is Jordana Durr, which she's fun. And then we have Jordan Perkins, who is our sports programming manager.
You have a really good team in place. And I think the people in Red Oak, and I know you'll vouch for this, if you haven't ever been to the YMCA, do yourself a favor and get down there, because it is just an amazing facility for a town this size to have a facility
It
such
is
as
so
that.
fun. I'm always having a great day at the Y.
Y is one of the few places where people voluntarily want to go. I mean, you got to go to the grocery store, you got to go to the hospital. But if Y, you don't have to go, but it's voluntary. You go there because you want to, because you're trying to improve yourself. So Aaron's going to go there tomorrow. Aaron will be there tomorrow morning on the treadmill.
Yep.
Brett will be there on the treadmill tomorrow morning.
No, I don't do treadmills.
No?
No, I walk the dog.
Oh. Well.
I'm old school, man. I can't do treadmills. I got to walk. Because us old cavemen, that's what we're used to doing is walking. Because, we walk to school both ways uphill. So that's just what we do.
Well, Timberlake, anything else we need to know about the YMCA there, young lady?
Just watch out for our new events. We got a lot of fun stuff happening. Like skate night we had a couple weeks ago, and it was so fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We had like 200 people at the Y. But
Skating.
it was so fun.
So back to the skate
You
night.
remember
We used to go down to Shenandoah to skate down in Shenandoah. I think I fell more than I actually skated. I was always
Really?
I
was good at
roll into the wall or whatever. But,
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, great job, Timberly.
Thank
We'll get
you.
your stats going here. We've got another special guest lined up here at halftime
Oh,
here
wow.
on our sports extravaganza. We'll be right back after these messages.
Who's our guest?
Nate Perrin.
And we're back here with the halftime extravaganza, and this time we're bringing up one Mr. Nate Perrin,
We're
who
going big
happens to
time.
be my boss, and big time in me here, telling me what to do. He's getting ready for school to start.
So my first question is, who did you randomly pull in right before me?
Timberly was
Timberly
our
was
special
it?
guest.
Okay.
Talking about the why.
She's probably way more interesting than I am.
Probably, but you're standing by, so we grabbed you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So,
getting ready for school. What are some of the? I know we've had a few different changes there up in the front office. Can you let people know what's going on up there?
actually, we've kind of moved a lot of people around, but with the exit of Miss Mangold in the guidance department, we're down to one guidance counselor, Mrs. Van Osdale. And then we reduced the assistant principal position. So Mr. Erickson moved down from the athletic office into the main office to help with student support and behaviors. And we moved Lisa Joint from the central office down to help with the guidance side of things and the athletics side of things. So we feel like we have it all covered, but maybe.
Are we ready to go for Monday?
Yeah, so I was just talking about this. This is a year where I feel like really ready. Like I feel like everything's ready to go. We're really ready to go. So I'm sure all
That's-
heck's going to break loose on Monday.
You just had to say that, didn't
Yeah,
you?
I keep telling people that
you
it's
just had to say
it's going
that.
to be crazy on Monday.
Well, here's the crazy thing. If you ask Mrs. Shelley the same question, probably get a different answer since her building is
Oh, yeah,
still a
true.
little bit. Everything's great at the high school.
I haven't really did
Tell
the,
us-
you think it was bad back in 2017 speech to her. But we had a whole semester of being in school while construction was going on.
Yeah.
Tell folks what's going on at Inman.
So Inman is
Inman Elementary.
Inman Elementary. The simplest way to describe it is they renovated the lunchroom and the main entry. The lunchroom was designed. I mean, people don't remember, but that building was, when it was remodeled, it was a K-3 building, and now you have kindergarten through 6th grade in there. So the lunchroom isn't near big enough. So they made the lunchroom bigger, and then it's never had that secure entry.
secure entry,
So when
yeah.
people were buzzed in the past, they could just walk right down the hallway. Now it's similar to the high school, where you got to kind of jaunt through the office to get access to the hallway. So, yeah, much needed. It didn't need to happen.
So I'm going to take this conversation in a different direction here. Now, Nate, it's been a long 2 years for you Hawkeye fans.
Yeah, here we go.
It's been
Here we go.
losing in heartbreak.
You want me to turn his mic down?
in heartbreak fashion on 80-yard field goals the last couple of years. Will it turn now this year? Will the Hawkeyes get their revenge against the Cyclones this year?
Yes, I feel like you guys are going to be seeing the boogeyman in your sleep this year. You know who the boogeyman is?
Ooh.
Yeah, Iowa got a new transfer receiver. They might actually have a receiver.
Do you have a
this year.
quarterback? Are you going to go with a non-quarterback system this year?
It's literally, I've seen all these videos of how Kirk Ferentz is the only coach in the football who can not name a quarterback until week 5. and
But
still
you don't
save
need
his
one.
job.
You've proven you don't need one. Give a punt returner and a punter, and you're good to go.
Elite
We've lost
special teams.
every specialist and our special teams coordinator at Iowa. Everybody's new. All the specialists and the coordinator. So that might not be our strength this year.
Well, it's going to be a fascinating season of football, and between Iowa. I've been teasing saying the Iowa State team really is Penn State, and the Iowa State team is really the Washington State team. So we'll see what happens here.
And Iowa doesn't play Penn State.
And Iowa doesn't play Penn State this year. That's right.
Lucky Penn State.
That's the other thing with these big conferences now. They're not all playing each other, so there's a lot of discrepancies in these strength of schedule with some of these teams, especially in SEC. I was looking, someone doesn't, or it was someone in the Big Ten. They don't play Michigan, Ohio State. So your scheduling can have a big factor on how well you do based on who you're playing. But
no, I look for this is it's weird not having school today. But I was get on the radio the first time every year. It's every year we talk to Aaron. It's like it's a great time of year. School starting, football season's rolling.
We've made many drives. You are a legend in Denison. Every time I went with Nate to Denison, we'd walk into a Dairy Queen. Oh, there's Mr. Perrin.
He's signing autographs.
Signing autographs, taking pictures.
Hey, I'm Nate up there. I want to be Nate here, but yes, I just got 30-year-olds calling me Mr. Perrin.
I'm like, geez.
Wow, that's how you know you've been here a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, anything else exciting we need to know about Road School System?
No, just
You got 20 seconds.
ready to roll and ready to get this second half started. Hopefully we can get a couple more big plays to get something to celebrate here.
Well, that is a great report from Mr. Nate Perrin. I'm not sure what your title is. You're just one of the what is your official title? What are you? The principal. Okay.
Yeah.
Of Red Oak
High school principal.
We might have to get him
junior, senior high school project.
We might have to have him on our brand new show on Saturday. We have to have him call in once in a while. We'll have to maybe
I'll call. I listen all the time.
Maybe
I'll text or call for
maybe
sure.
A celebrity picker at some point.
Oh,
Maybe one of our celebrity guests.
I think so. Put him down. You're the scheduler, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, at some point he's been here long enough. He might just be nicknamed the Godfather.
The Godfather.
From the old school there.
there
The
you
guy.
go.
You're my boy, Blue.
My boy, Blue.
That's right.
I feel like I'm blue. I've been here so long.
Time for us to take a commercial break. We'll be right back after this. We're going to start the second half here in Red Oak Riverside football. Back at Bend the Field here, we're waiting the second half kickoff between the Tigers and the Bulldogs. All Bulldogs, 43-6 here at halftime. We'll have a running clock in the second half. Matt Davis, Brett Eubank, Aaron West, Timberley Bentley bringing you this game. And
wrapping up
Matt,
one thing, Matt, I want to say, make sure you make note of our sponsors, if it's either online or on air, whatever the case may be, and say thanks when you have the opportunity, because they make it possible for us to be here. A lot of great supporters for years and years and years, so we do want to say thanks to all the supporters. Okay, Matt, there you go.
Absolutely. Brett. hit the scoreboard. What we
Well,
got?
it looks like we got around the area, unless the home office has the Stanton score for us later on. HSTW is up on Missouri Valley, 21-7. If we want to go other statewide, Pella Christian is up on Sheraton, 17-7. And I think that's about the only ones anywhere close to here. Everything else is way on the eastern side of the state. So not a whole, some of the smaller schools going off. I know one of the score stream that we have that's actually on the KCSI FM website, some of those smaller schools don't necessarily always get reports there. So hopefully if somebody can kind of text in or call the station with
East
some
Mills,
scores,
Griswold,
that'd
game
be
tonight
great.
as well. Yeah, absolutely. So, but next week will be a full slate of games across the state of Iowa. A lot of teams are scrimmaging tonight. Red Oak. Who does Red Oak play next week? Now, come to think, we are at Southwest Valley. I think they're here.
Yeah, Southwest Valley.
Yeah, and South Valley, I believe, has a game tonight as well.
Yes, they do.
I believe they're playing Panorama. So, that Red Oak Southwest Valley series has been all Southwest Valley recently, but Timberwolves will be here at Benda Field next week. So here we go, getting ready for the second half kickoff here. Pace Shelley, we kick it off with the Tigers. Kicks down to about the out of bounds, actually at the 30, so it'll be a flag, and the Bulldogs will take over 1st and 10 at they're going to mark this at the 30, 35, Brett, on that penalty.
I believe so.
So Tigers here will have a running clock this half. Bulldogs scoring on every possession that they touched of the ball in the first half. Several of them were short drives due to the Tigers' turnovers, but scoring on passes and punt returns and variety of plays here. We're going to actually kick the ball over again here. So the penalty will go assessed on a kickoff here, and then the Tigers will have to kick off again.
Yeah, but just send them back here about 5 yards for that. So I think Riverside's looking for kind of a good return here, but kind of the idea for the Tigers here is kind of get the pooch kick kind of right in between the kind of the third line and the last line there to try to just kind of get it there, so kind of directional to kind of negate some of this Riverside speed.
Well, here we go with the second try on the kickoff return, and there's a kick. It's going to be inbounds, but it's a good kick way back in the corner, fielded back inside the 10 by a Bulldog. Now he's coming out wide. Tigers cover, and he'll bring it out to about the 26-yard line. I don't have the number on that, but it looks like it maybe was Mason Hauser possibly on that punt or kickoff return.
No, look, Zane Sloan was really good there, along with number 7 there, which would be Camden Yugberg, freshman there. They're able to kind of turn that in to make sure Cole Jepson wasn't able to kind of scoot around that outside and go to the house there. So
was it Jepson or Hauser? I couldn't see. But anyway,
yeah.
I think this is the longest field position Bulldogs have had all night, Brett. I think to start here the second half on taking over on their own, 28-yard line?
28-yard line. So it's really going to be, the Tigers really at this point need to kind of shut down that inside run just to kind of take something away from the Bulldogs here.
So Amdar with the shotgun snap right up the middle is going to pick up the first down, brought down by Faria, or close to the first down. They're going to give him the first down. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 37. But nothing fancy there, but just a shotgun snap, and Amdor just took off up the middle.
Nope, send all of his backs to the left side to kind of get the defensive line to roll there, and it's almost like a trap play, a little kind of a cut back there, just kind of leave that lane right up the middle with the over pursuit on the Tigers. So that's why the Tigers some of those linebackers got to kind of stay home to kind of close those holes up.
Amdor is 6'2", 175-pound senior quarterback for this Bulldog team. I mean, he's got his team at the line here, 1st and 10 at their 38. Two-back formation with Amdor in shotgun formation, and he's going to roll right. Good pursuit there. The pitch is on the ground, though, fielded by the Bulldogs. Picks it up. It's Jepson. He's going to bring it out to the 46. Bulldogs fortunate there, Brett.
Yeah, they kind of averted disaster there with the pitch out there kind of on the ground, but nobody was really out there to kind of, take advantage of that. And Jepson was able to kind of get it and kind of turned a bad play into a positive play there for the Bulldogs.
Tigers almost with a big play there defensively. Got their hands on Amdor, but he's able to pitch the ball and then field it on the hop off the turf, and Bulldogs pick up positive yards. So it'll be 2nd and we'll call it, 2. The ball is at the Bulldog 47. We're waiting for that play call coming in here from Coach Johannesson. Bulldogs bring 2 receivers to the short side now, shifting the lineman around inside 5 seconds on a play clock here, 3-2, and they get the snap away, get the Hauser, comes wide, cuts it back inside, he's going to pick up the first down. Jackson Purdue on the tackle, crosses Tigers 50-yard line into the Tiger territory to 49.
That was a good job by him coming up and kind of filling that hole that was vacated by the tight end there. And, the defensive end for the Tigers had already been kicked out, so he was able to kind of, hold that edge there and make the play. Though the Bulldogs did get a first down, but it was only a gain of 3.
Running clock here in the second half. Bulldogs in control of this game over the Tigers, but like we talked about, there's a lot of development for the Tigers here. They have a lot of opportunities in the second half here to develop and grow and see some positive things here. So you do not give up these 2 quarters just because of the scoreboard here. Amdor at shotgun formation now gives to Hauser. Hauser up the middle. It's going to break free, but brought down, but picks up the first down. Looks like he was almost a step away from breaking that. Fisher was able to ankle tackle him.
Yeah, he was able to kind of squirt there through the left side and then kind of cut back to the right side against the grain there. And he's incredibly elusive and has deceptive speed. Pretty fast kid, but Fisher was able there to hang on there to pretty much save the touchdown.
And just a sophomore, so it's a young player. But, yeah, picked up 15 yards there, so down to about the Tiger 35-yard line, 1st and 10 here for the Bulldogs. Roby now in linebacker slot for the Tigers. And we're going to have motion here. I think the Tigers are pointing at the Bulldogs.
I think we got a false start there on the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs have a lot of motion, Brett. They bring a lot of guys in motion and do a lot of shifting. And I think that one caught up with them there. So it'll be 1st and 15 for the Bulldogs at the 40-yard line. That's the Tiger 40. Second half here. Bend the field. Week 0 game in the Iowa high school football. Kind of feels like football season here. The cicadas are out. These long days are finally starting to end because I go to sleep at instead of sunlight out being dark here. No, there's too much information. The Hauser with a big run picks up some that penalty yardage, but the days are getting shorter, I guess what I'm trying to say, guys. This sunlight to 9 o'clock doesn't work for me when I go to sleep at 6, 7 o'clock at night.
I know what you mean. Yeah, but they are definitely getting shorter.
No, it looks like Caden Jones was able to go there on the tackle going across the left side there, but still a pretty big gain for the Bulldogs there. It looks like they got about 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8 to go there.
Picked up that penalty yardage and more here. And Hauser, we don't have his rushing total. We'll see if we can get a rushing total on him, but he is piling up the yards here rushing-wise. Tigers again pointing for motion, but no flag. Give to Hauser, and he's got wrestled ground there by Dylan Ryberg. Nice tackle there by Ryberg. Stops him for a short gain.
No, and Damon Roby was able to kind of get the initial stop on that to kind of slow him up to let Roby there kind of clean. Well, Roby there kind of allowed the clean up there on it. So good play by the Tigers. Bring up about a third and about a long 4 there.
Yeah,
for
this will
them.
be 2 down territory for the Bulldogs even if they don't get it. But it's good for the Tigers here to show a little fight here on this defensive line here. Try to get it to a 4th down if they can here. Bulldogs run that clock down quite a bit. They get the play call in from their coach, and Amdor now will be in that shotgun formation. 2 receivers short side. Give to a little double handoff there. Give to number 22. Little kind of belly option up the middle there, and that was Peyton Scheckinger with the first down run all the way down to the 16-yard line.
No, there's so much motion there by the Bulldogs there. It's really – kind of confused. There's a lot of eye candy is what they say, especially for those linebackers flowing back and forth.
Brett Eubank busting out all kinds of football.
Do I need to get some more buzzwords there?
Eye candy?
What was the one you used in the first half? Alignment sound?
No, position sound.
Position sound.
Position sound.
Brett,
no,
you think-
assignment sound.
Assignments.
I wrote that down because I want to use that.
First
Assignment sound.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs here to the 17. Give to Hauser. Not much there. Hayden Jones with the big tackle. And also in on that tackle, I believe
Sergio Villanueva there was able to kind of take that. But
good job there by the Tiger defensive line. Tigers showing a little bit more here on the defensive side. I mean, you're looking for a little positive, but they're showing a little bit more fighting through the gaps and getting through some of the blocks to get to the runner here. We'll see if the Tigers can make a stand somehow here and keep the Bulldogs out of the end zone.
no, it's really about establishing the line of scrimmage there for the Tigers. That defensive line just can't let right now the Riverside Bulldogs have been pushing that line of scrimmage forward and really had the Tigers on their heels all night.
So Bulldogs here bring a player in motion, shotgun snap, Ammer. He takes left behind a convey of blockers, but a good play there by Tigers to try to blow it up. But still Amber's loose, He's going to get into the end zone. Man, he broke a tackle. Somehow got a touchdown out of that, Brett, when I thought the Tigers had that snuffed out.
No, I thought they were going to be able to push him out of bounds, but no, they pretty much had a convoy going on that left side and kind of outnumbered the Tigers there, and he was able to kind of squirt through, kind of tiptoed on that out of bounds line, was able to score.
Yeah, good penetration there by the Tiger player. Almost got him, but he slipped through that and picks up the touchdown. That is his second touchdown of the night for Peyton Amdor. And now that what we've seen all night, Bulldogs do the shift. 4:47 to go here in the third quarter. We will have a running clock this second half. Bulldogs will kick this extra point here. And snap, hold, kick. No good. I was say I thought that slid to the left.
Yeah,
there.
it
No
looks
good.
like he shanked it left.
So the leg is probably getting tired, guys. So we'll take a break. It's 49-6 Bulldogs over the Tigers. Bulldogs will be kicking off to the Tigers. Opening night of the season for the Road Tiger football team and the Bulldogs here at Bend the Field. And Mr. Amdor will be kicking the ball. Again, guys, I think his leg is getting tired.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
He's getting tired.
I'm tired watching it.
He's doing nothing but kicking the ball.
I'm just sitting here. He's been all over the field.
My hamstring's tight from watching him.
I think I have pulled a hammy watching him.
There we go. He's been kicking him in the end zone. Let's see if he gets this one in the end zone. And, by gosh, he sure does. Just lands at the goal line. He has continued that all night long. So the Tigers will take first and 10 at the 20. That's pretty rare in high school football when you get a kid that can kick the ball like he has shown consistently in the end zone.
That's what I was going to say. Not one it's all night in the end zone. It's very consistent.
I mean, when you face those teams that have dangerous return guys, being able to shut that down like that is a big weapon to have. So Tigers will start their first offensive series here in the second half.
Kind of see what sort of adjustments were made at halftime, since this is the first time Tigers had the ball the second half. And looks like, from what the starters were out there, looks like we got maybe a few different people there up on the line. So we'll see what kind of adjustments were made.
Jackson Purdue under center for quarterback for the Tigers. I formation. Purdue takes the snap. Give to tailback Free. Free's going to pick up a couple yards there. So I believe that was Dalton Free. So it'll be second and about 8 for the Tigers.
No, it just kind of went right off the guard on the right side there. And tell you what, Riverside's just, it sounds like a broken record at this point. They've just really been pinching in those gaps and letting the linebackers flow. And the Tigers really haven't had a whole lot of running space within there.
We'll see if Coach Bruce dials up one of those screen passes with that heavy rush up the front. See if Tigers, they were pretty effective with a couple of those passes in the first half. One they broke with that Ryberg. So here we go, second and 8 for the Tigers. Purdue under center, I formation. Purdue takes the ball, drops back, under pressure, rolling right now, looking, under pressure, pointing, gets the ball away. It's going to be incomplete. Just got rid of it there. Well, they had no one out there. Had good pressure from the Bulldogs. So it'll be third and 8 there. Good decision there by Jackson. Nothing was there. Got rid of it, didn't take the sack, didn't take the loss.
No, he was pressured almost right away by Lucas Manser there on the line, looks like he's been lining up mostly on the left side of the defense there as their end, and he's been getting in all the time and really causing all sorts of havoc there for Purdue.
Part of that is just, the Bulldogs have had good pressure. I mean, yes, the Tigers' offensive line needs to shore it up a little bit here, but credit those Bulldogs. They have been really very effective in their pass rush and getting across that line of scrimmage tonight. Tigers here third and 8. Purdue now drops back, looking under pressure. There's that screen pass to Ryberg up the cuts up the middle, and he's going to be, depends on the spot here, whether they give him the first down or not. It's close. They're going to move the chain, so first down, a third down conversion. There's that play, the little kind of screen pop pass to Ryberg, and he picks up just enough yardage to get the first down.
No, that inside screen, you just kind of let all those guys up there, let the offensive linemen take care of the linebackers, and, it was a good time to call that, especially with Purdue right under center going straight back. I think those defensive linemen really thought they were going to get a sack there.
Dillon's
so good
such
call.
a big target. He's 6'5". You just want to get that ball to him if you can because he can make some plays. 1st and 10 for the Tigers at the 30 here. Purdue hands off to Fisher up the middle. Tough yardage there. Picks up a couple yards there. Hudson Fisher.
Looks like right off the kind of the right guard there. He was just kind of just a quick handoff, hoping to surprise them and kind of faking the pitch going outside. So, no, it was a good job there. It looks like probably about a gain of 3 there for the Tigers. So let's see if we can keep the positiveness here. I don't even know if that's a word, but keep it going down the field.
We'll go with it, Brett. Positiveness.
Okay.
We'll go with it. 2nd and 7 here at the 33 for the Tigers.
I'm not an English teacher. So
no,
there
you're a
we
history
go.
teacher. Purdue under center here. I formation. Snap. He's going to run it to the left side. Looked like another broken play type, but he's going to make some yardage out of it and gets to maybe about the 40-yard line. So he took something that didn't look so good and got some yardage out, and it's going to be a 3rd and short situation for the Tigers. It'll be 3rd and about 3 at their 39-yard line.
No, that's a good decision by Purdue there. It looked like he was wanting to kind of pitch it out there, kind of almost that read option going out there, and the cornerback came up there hard and really took the running back out, so Purdue was able to cut it up and make a good gain. It looks like, about 3rd and 1 here. See if they go with the quarterback sneak again here.
Or that push, as you called it, but inside a minute to go here in the 3rd period. Running clock, Purdue under center, 3rd and 1. And if ball's on the ground loose, exchange was not there. I don't know who got it. It looks like the Tigers might have recovered it. But it will be 4th and 1. I think the Tigers are probably going to go for it, don't you think, Brett?
Well, it looks like if you got – it looks like about 6 inches here, 6 to 8 inches, maybe a foot here to go. I think what happened there, I think the snapper there was just trying to get ahead a little bit,
quick
didn't
on
get the ball out of the way there. So I think you're pretty much going to see the same thing.
So 4th and less than a yard here. The call, like you said, 6 or 7 inches here. And Purdue under center here. They'll get this snap off just before the end of the quarter. Purdue takes the snap. He's going to hand off. First down for the Tigers. Nice hole there on the left side to get the first down there by Hudson Fisher. And that'll take us to the end of the 3rd quarter here. At the end of 3, it's Riverside 49, Red Oak 6. We'll be back for 4th quarter right after this. Back here at Benda Field, where it's been all Riverside tonight. Brett Eubank, everyone at the press box is eyeing the last hamburger. It's on the table. Everybody's got their eye on the last remaining hamburger on the food table here.
I do note that one of you two made a strategic play with the Reese's cups.
Well, it's sitting here in front of Brett. If Brett doesn't take the Reese here in the next, 2 minutes of game time, I'm going to take it.
I didn't know. So there you
go. He
go.
makes the move. Here we go. 1st and 10 for the Tigers at their 43-yard line. Purdue under center. Tigers in I formation. Purdue with the keeper now. Going to pick up good yard. 40 across the midfield. Gets a first down. he does that kind of reverse pivot out of the snap.
Kind of a reverse pivot,
And then-
fake the pitch,
Yes.
and then was able to just kind of come up. So
Yeah, good yard. That might be their longest run of the night right there from a rushing standpoint. Brett, 1st and 10, moving the chains into Riverside territory now.
now that was a good misdirection there. If everybody's flowing, they're really biting on the fakes. This you got to counter. But Janelle Erickson was out there listening. She said positiveness is not a word, but it could be word adjacent.
Word adjacent. I'm writing that down too.
That's why she's academic based.
I'm writing that down too. Thanks, Janelle.
Here we go. Purdue dropping back. Her pass completed to Ryberg. Nice little out pattern there to Ryberg, and he takes a shot. Gets up a little bit skimpy, but catches the ball.
Looks like a gain of about 5 yards there.
I think we need a KCSI shirt that says positiveness. How about that?
We're
Janelle?
word adjacent.
A word adjacent. Maybe both.
Dylan Ryberg with a shot.
See what you can do, Janelle, on that one.
To the knee there, a little gimpy as Ryberg gets back to the line of scrimmage there. 2nd and 5 for the Tigers at the 43-yard line of Riverside. Purdue with a handoff to Free, not much there, snuffed out
Actually,
well.
I think that was Hudson Fisher there.
Hudson
but-
Fisher snuffed out well there by the Bulldogs.
And it looks like I'm trying to catch a number there. It looks like number 79 there. That would be Rex Shano. He's senior there, 5'8" senior. He, from that middle linebacker position, he has really been kind of creating havoc there right in the middle for the Tigers. So,
Ryberg now out of the game, being looked at by the coaches. He seems to be standing, but he's definitely favoring that right leg a little bit. Here we go, 3rd and 3 for the Tigers at the 41. Purdue under center here. Again, it's going to be 2 down territory if the Tigers don't pick it up here. Purdue drops back, rolling right, cuts it back up inside now under pressure, avoids that tackler, still rolling loose, gets a pass away, completed to St. Lona. I think that's going to be a completed pass, and then a fumble out of bounds. So it should be Tiger first down.
Yeah, he did make a couple steps there. Then the hit came up. He fumbled out of bounds, and so luckily he had enough steps in to be able to count the reception there. He's a little shook up there, but good for a Tiger first down.
Took a big shot there, but like I said, you're right, Brett. He was able to corral the ball and take a couple steps and then took the hit, and the ball pops out of bounds, and they're going to give him the completion. 1st and 10 at the 26. And I just see Jackson Purdue getting more comfortable as this game moves along, Brett.
No, he was under pressure, but he definitely didn't panic. And, Sloan there really kind of helped his quarterback there and, came back to the ball, was able to kind of respond to his quarterback.
Tigers here 1st and 10 at the Bulldog 26. Going against mostly the Bulldogs' first-team defense. Did a pitch to Free. Cut back, nothing there. Good tackle there by the Bulldogs there. All of that's going to be a 2-3 yard loss there.
And it looks like number 69 there, Hayden Trambauer. He was all over that one.
Yeah, absolutely blew that play up. Actually, not as much yardage loss as I thought. It'd be 2nd and 11 for the Tigers here. 8:30 to go in the game, running clock. Tigers first possession of the second half, and they're trying to cash it in here on a touchdown if they can. They also have Pace Shelley. Be good for him if they can't get down and give him an opportunity to try a field goal kick too, possibly. Here, we'll see what happens. 2nd and 11 for the Tigers at the 27. Purdue rolls the pitch to Free. Free cuts outside, cuts inside now, and he's going to pick up down to the 20. Nice little cut there. Picks up about 6 yards. Dalton gave a little shoulder inside, and then they'll shimmy outside. And
going to bring up about,
3rd, and we'll call it, 6 or 7 maybe?
Yeah, it looks like about 6 yards to go here for the Tigers on what looks like about the 21-yard line.
So line to make is about the 16-yard line here or so. So it's, again, either 2 down territory or field goal territory here. Let's see if the Tigers can pick it up here. They've converted a couple 3rd downs here. Purdue is under center. Wide receiver each side, I formation. Purdue with the reverse pivot now, cuts back up inside, and Bulldogs, they have that one figured out there. They kind of that toss, pitch, reverse pivot. This is going to be 4th and 5 here. It looks like Pace Shelley's out there. Are they going to see wide receiver or is he kicking? Looks like he's going to be play. They're going to call a play here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try to go for it here.
So maybe.
Really got nothing to lose at this point.
So it'll be 4th and we'll call it 5. And the Tigers are going to try to convert here. be really good for this team to see this drive ends in some points here, but they're going to have to convert here on this 4th down.
Well, especially without their leading receiver, Ryberg.
Yeah, Ryberg's sitting home in here over the bench. Purdue under center here. And Tigers end going to have a timeout. Coach Gray's going to call a timeout.
Just kind of discuss the play. Maybe there was a little confusion there. They just didn't like what they saw in the defense.
We'll keep it right here. But, running clock, so you have obviously fewer plays and less possessions in the second half here. But, like I said, I think from the Tigers, that second quarter on, Brett, you just got the sense, okay, take a deep breath here. And we've seen more competitiveness from the defense, certainly making Riverside kind of earn, taking out that punt return. And then offensively, they've moved the ball a little bit here. This is the second time in the series they moved, the ball down the field. And that's a positive sign for this team.
No, and I think this is really the benefits of games like this is the coach are able to go back, they're able to look at the film and see, what did we do wrong, what did we do right, maybe do we have some positions changes that we need to do, personnel things, is there some schematic things we can do differently? So, since you always see that biggest improvement week 1 to week 2, just so you start to learn about your team, this is, even though the score isn't what the Tigers would want it to be, it's still a very valuable game.
So here we go, 4th and 5 for the Tigers at the 20-yard line. Purdue under center. And it looks like we have motion, but there's no flag. Purdue's rolling left under pressure. He's going to get away. They'll be incomplete. But, yeah, Purdue just had to give up too much yardage there from the pressure, and that play never had a chance. 4th down, hold for the Bulldogs, and they'll take over. I thought some of the players thought there was a motion or something, but seemed on that, Brett.
Yeah, but it looked like he had number 24, Kingston Kerrigan, and also Max Danker there for the Bulldogs there. Were able to kind of go right through the line, and Purdue was basically pressured right away. He didn't even have anything to do with that. And luckily, he was able to kind of get rid of the ball just so he, to save some of that yardage, so he didn't take the big sack.
Let's see if Coach Hannison brings in their second-string quarterback here if they play Amdor through the end of the game here. Like I said, I think even if it is against a second-team unit, if the Tigers can get a defensive stop tonight, that would bode well. Looks like Amdor is still out there, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like we got some new receivers there.
My eyes, I need my binoculars. I did not bring my binocs tonight, guys. But is that Amdor out there? You got better eyes than I, Brett.
Not really.
No. Anyways, 1st and 10 Bulldogs at the 5 to give to Jepson, excuse me, and he's got speed, boy. Look at that, breaking outside 40, cuts back inside 45, 50. He's got speed. He might go. Still on his feet, coming one side of the field, the other field, and he's being chased down from behind 25, 10, 15-yard line. He's brought down, and there's going to be a flag on or a horse collar on the Tigers. Brett, he ran on one side of the field. He ran back on the other side of the field. He might have ran a mile and a half on that play.
I tell you what, he's got some speed, and he's very, very shifty. It looked like the Tigers would have had him several different times, and unfortunately there with Zane Sloan coming up there for the tackle. Zane's a very tall kid. Just him reaching out there almost goes on the what we almost call a hip drop tackle because he was able to kind of get him on the shoulder pads and just drop straight down. So
anyway, long rush play there for the Bulldogs, and they're going to be inside the Tiger with the penalty inside the Tiger 10-yard line. The clock is moving. 4:32 to go in this game. And it looks like they do have their second-string quarterback in there. I want to say that maybe it's number 9. Would that be – let's get a number here.
Number 9, that'd be Court Rican.
Courting Mr. Andy Ray on top of it as usual. We have 2 Rays here tonight. We have a double Ray team over here helping on the scoreboard. We got a Bruce and a Kells and a Coffee, the usual suspects up here in a press box tonight. Here we go. 1st and goal for the Bulldogs. Rican gives to Jeppinson, I believe, at tailback.
Looks like Jepson again.
They moved him to tailback, and he gets down inside the 5 to about the 4-yard line. And just nothing but a little toss pitch there to him.
Still be 2nd and goal.
So Riverside trying to punch this in to keep their streak of scoring every time with the ball intact here. 3:30 to go. And Bulldogs, like I say, they don't really huddle. Brett, they kind of go to their position and they look at the sideline for the play call, and then they just go from there and they make their shifts. What do they need to do at the play call clock, and then they go. And here they are ready to go with 4 seconds going to play clock. Rican with the give to Jeppenson. He cuts outside, and he's going to break it inside. Too much speed outside for the touchdown for the Bulldogs.
No, so far there was really nothing too fancy or too deceptive in any of those plays. Just kind of get him into space and let him use the speed, and pretty much that's what the Riverside playbook was last year: is get your athletes out into space and let them make plays. And so far, that's what the Bulldogs have also done tonight.
So, barring anything unforeseen here, that might be the Bulldogs' last possession of the game here. Like, see, we are in a running clock situation to go for the. They still have Amdor out there kicking. Between he hasn't really thrown much of guys, but he's kicked. He's going to need to ice the leg down tonight. There is the extra point attempt. It is good, and we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with 3 minutes to go in this game. It's Riverside over Red Oak. Back at Bend the Field, it's all Riverside. 3 minutes ago here in this game, and right from the get-go, Riverside took control, scoring 2 or 3 touchdowns within the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, and really right there gained control, and they have scored every time they have possessed the ball tonight.
You know, I will say one of the things I mentioned at the beginning of the game that we haven't seen, since it is kind of first game of the year, though I might jinx it at this point, we haven't seen anybody go down with cramps or anything like that, or any stoppages with that, because usually it seems like those first games you got kids always going down with that.
Yeah, you're right. That's a typical occurrence in the first couple games here, but you're right. We have seen, that's probably credit both the teams hydrating their kids, getting them ready for it, and
good condition.
Get through the game here tonight. So kickoff, this will be a kickoff for Amdor. Can he get it in the end zone again? And yes, he does. And that I think we're going to anoint Amdor the star of the game with the kicks, just with the kicks, guys. But
sounds like you were a special teams guy in high school.
I'm a Bears fan, and I don't know how many field goals we've missed. And, and of course, as an Iowa State fan, we're used to our kicker kicking 65-yarders to beat the Hawkeyes.
Being the Bears guy, aren't you the infamous double doink?
That's my point. So I really have an appreciation for kicks. Good kickers who can kick the ball through the upright.
Well, most people don't think kickers are football players.
Careful now.
Until they're either there to win or lose the game.
This kid's a quarterback and a kicker, so you can't use that one.
No, I can't use that for him there.
So this should be the last possession of the game for the Tigers here. 3 minutes to go in the game. Jackson Purdue will stay at quarterback here for the Tigers. Roby at fullback, Fisher at tailback, Smirnotis at one wide receiver, and it looks like maybe Zane Sloan out there. We have not seen Ryberg back in the game since he took that shot to the knee.
No, it actually looks like Tigers have a brand new offensive line in there too.
So the give to Roby breaks it open, 30-yard line. Man, he had an open hole there, and he had some open yardage there.
Yeah, I think I'm sorry there. Looks like for both teams, you pretty much got their second units in for both everybody. It looks like almost all the starters are out there.
So it had good opening there on that hole and got some good yardage there. Moved the chains, in fact, picked up the first down. So 1st and 10 for the Tigers here. Under 3 minutes to go now in this game. Tigers here wrapping up I want to call it week 1, but this is technically week 0, they call it, games. Tigers here with Purdue under center. 1st and 10. Roll out, keeps the ball. Going to keep it to the left side. Got opening round. Got a first down all the way out to a 44-yard line. Nice little just kind of – he had that like an option to option it, but he kept it. Picked up good yardage.
Kind of just that option read there going out to the outside, and he was able to cut it up and make a good gain there for the Tigers. Looks like up to about the 44-yard line.
Mm-hmm. So Tigers moving the ball down the field again, and we have seen this pretty consistent since about second quarter. Tigers have been able to move the ball on the ground. Yes, they're going against some of the reserves here in Riverside, but I think Coach Bruce will be, Coach Bruce, I know him. He will not be satisfied, but he's going to find some positives in this because his offense has kind of settled in here, I think, since that second quarter. Give up the middle, and that is a good hard run there by Hudson Fisher.
Nope, he was able to kind of go. It looks like Purdue's just kind of stayed in there to kind of act as quarterback to kind of facilitate the ball. But looks like we got a couple other youngsters going in here with number 14, Caleb Ryberg, and also Jacob Wooden going in there.
Caleb Ryberg, freshman, younger brother of Dylan Ryberg.
Kind of the mini-me version of Dylan.
Mini-me of Dylan, good way to say that. Minute to go in the game. And the Tigers here probably maybe get one more playoff. There's a good hard run by Roby, I believe. That's another first down. Good job there by freshman Damon Roby. There's a kid with some potential for the Tigers right there, Brett.
No, he's a solid little, he's not a very tall kid, but he's very down to the ground, just muscular kid, pretty quick kid.
Seems very competitive. He has a competitive spirit to him, so I think that's such an important trait for an athlete to have here. So under 30 seconds ago, this should be the last play of the game here for the Tigers. And they're going to be snapping this ball from the Riverside 47-yard line here. Purdue takes it, toss pitch to, I think that was free, and that should probably do
Hudson Fisher, actually.
Hudson Fisher. So I think that, I don't think they're going to.
No, that'll do it.
Timeout. Did they call a timeout?
Nope, they didn't.
So
They're just giving the
it.
ball. That's the ball game, folks.
So at the conclusion of the game here, that is it. It is Riverside 56, Red Oak 6 on week 0 game here at Bend the Field. We'll be right back after this with post-game interviews with coach and players.
back here at Bender Field for some of the post-game action, and luckily we have Coach Gray and Jackson Purdue joining us. So, Coach Gray, kind of some of your initial thoughts here for the game?
Was not what we expected as far as the outcome. But I will say that we saw some good things that we can work on. We saw a lot of bad things that we're going to work on. But the idea of the week 0 game is kind of gauge where we're at. Mm-hmm. Now we kind of got that baseline. Now we need to raise our game a little bit. I think you can't simulate Riverside's speed in practice.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that was the biggest thing. Their offensive defensive line are so quick off the ball. So we need to work with both sides of the ball on being able to get out of our stances quicker, get our weight forward like it should be, and not sitting back waiting for it.
Coach, would you say you almost learned more from a game than just a regular scrimmage here? 'Cause,
oh, absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure you guys got a lot on film that you can look at. Maybe do we have somebody in the right position? Maybe do we need to switch somebody up in a position here? What things do we need to work on? I'm sure that's one of the things you guys are going to be doing the rest of this weekend.
Oh, yeah. And, so that drive that we scored on, I think we ate up 5 minutes of the clock.
Yep.
That's how we're built. So if we can get some more of those drives and be a little more consistent, we're going to be fine. But 3 and outs, and we need to work on our special teams a little bit. We cannot give up anything on special teams.
No, and that one, the big pass there by Mr. Purdue here, just kind of throwing it up there. I tell you what, good thing Dylan's all of 6'5" there. It looked like he kind of came off the one hand, able to tap it back to himself, and kind of helps to have guys that big that can catch the ball.
Oh, absolutely. I thought Jackson played a very good game, and him and I were talking on the way walking up here. There's things he needs to work on too. We're different. We've always been in the gun. Now we're under center. So it's a little different from him dropping back, throwing the ball. But that's things we'll work on. Dylan Ryberg, he had a pretty solid game. When we watch film at halftime, because now we have huddle sideline, we're missing assignments by 1 block. Like, we don't take the defensive end on the option. We make him, he's our option guy. A couple times when it was there, we pushed him into the play. Yep.
Would you say some of that would be kind of some of the guys on the line kind of in new positions and just kind of forgetting, am I supposed to block in, am I blocking out, and just kind of just those missed assignments, and all it takes is one guy to miss, the defensive end or the inside linebacker, next thing the play is blown up.
Yeah, and then on the defensive side, we got several young kids playing key positions. So like Damon Roby.
Yep.
He's a freshman. I thought he played a good game, but there's a lot that we can work on. And it was one of those, don't want to make a mistake. I'd rather them go 100 miles an hour, all of them.
Yeah.
Go 100 miles an hour and make that mistake fast than to be back on your heels. So.
Absolutely. Well, and they kind of throw a lot of eye candy out there with a lot of the motions, stuff like that. And so, you play so much slower when you're reactive.
Right.
And especially if people are thinking, what's my assignment there? Just sometimes that split second is all it takes with a really fast team.
Yeah, we
got to
learn to play fast, free, and have fun doing it. And I think get out of our shell, I think we're going to be all right.
Awesome. Well, if we can go to Jackson Purdue here, what was it like kind of now, in years past, you've always been more of the running back in the offense, kind of a different thing, and especially going under center. That is kind of a whole different feel. So how do you think it kind of went, as far as going under center there really for the first time in game action?
Yeah, it's totally different from what I'm used to. But I thought we adapted well. I mean, we came in with the right attitude and effort. Our execution just wasn't there, but it's definitely different. But I think it's definitely going to benefit us in the long run.
Well, it looked like some of those successful plays you had, well, a couple of them almost looked like it was like a reverse pivot, and you kind of fake a pitch out, then you kind of roll up. And it seems like, especially in the second half, you guys started having some success with that. Was that something that was already in the playbook, or is that something that kind of you guys did at halftime? Hey, maybe this would be something, try to get them moving this other direction, kind of counter that to the other side.
Yeah, that's something that we've been working on in practice, and we executed our counter really well, and so that there were some big plays there, but yeah, it's a good play.
So I suppose it's all about kind of slowing the other team down, when it comes to especially getting the motions back and forth. And I would say with some of those pass plays that you had to with Ryberg, was that something you guys been working on in practice, trying to get that connection down?
Yeah, I thought Dylan had a phenomenal game. We've worked on like kind of a scramble drill where he just tries to find open grass, green grass, and we get the ball to him because he's tall. And so he played really well, and so getting him in space is going to be key for us.
That second half, it seemed to me that you settled in more. Did it feel that way to you, Jackson?
Yeah, like there was definitely a learning curve this
Sure.
game, and so second half got a little more comfortable. So yeah, for sure.
That quarterback role, Jackson, like Coach was saying, under the center versus a shotgun. Now, shotgun, you can always see the field, and you're under the center, you're going to turn. Your back's going to be to the play at some point in times. That is a big adjustment for you in terms of getting used to that. But I felt like Aaron said that you started to have a feel for the sense of where the rush was coming, where the field. You got to have a second sense. I think you're getting a second, third sense, so that'll bode well for you. But time will come. So. Looking forward, Jackson, and Coach, maybe for you, what's emphasis this week? What are you going to look at this week in terms of program?
Watch film tonight, Coach?
Yeah, we will watch film. We're going to meet tomorrow, watch film. We will make best friends with our blocking sled this week. And I thought the boys were really well conditioned. No issues with condition.
Brett commented on that. We didn't see any signs of dehydration or cramping. That's a credit to you guys.
Especially those week 1, week 0 games. Usually have a couple kids always going down, wanting to get stretched out. But there was none. It seems like the kids were in pretty good shape.
Yeah, and Riverside, they're well coached. Their new coach, he's a new coach, but I think he's been with them 7 or 8 years, something like that. So we wasn't sure what to expect. We kind of figured maybe he'd keep the same scheme. Not quite sure, but we did know that they were going to be fast, and they were fast.
Yeah. And there's no way to replicate the real game. And it's like the first night of anything, a performance, and you learn so much, and you'll have a lot of good information to work on now for your team's second week. And that's a great thing about football. You turn the page, you get to the next week now, or on the next week.
We got Southwest Valley coming in here next week, and they're a well-coached team too. So it's one of those games. It's not a high-scoring game by any. It seems like the last few years we've just been neck and neck.
Yep.
So it's going to be a good contest for us. I know they're playing Panorama tonight. I'm not sure.
We haven't
gotten any scores on them from them. So, but it's also going to be one of those things now. Both teams are going to have film on each other, as opposed. It seems like the years past, it's always been because it's that week 1 game. It's a little bit of surprise for everybody.
So by no means are we just going to scrap our game plan and go back to the drawing board. What we have will work. We just got to execute it.
Very good.
Well, any last words, I suppose, before we kind of let you go here and let somebody go take a shower here?
How about we get a huge crowd next week for Southwest Valley? The crowd tonight was good.
Yeah.
I would love to see the stands.
We should have the band here next week, I think, so that'll be a big.
And the boys really feed off.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's just a whole different vibe when school's in and the football's on Friday.
It
than
is a little
with
bit
here.
different with
It's
school
just
not being in and
been
playing
very
tonight.
different, and just nobody's ready for school stuff yet. And
Right.
so hopefully next week everybody will come on down. Hopefully we'll have a good weather for it and have a much better game plan and better result hopefully for the home team here.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach, thank you. Jackson, thank you for coming up. And do you want to go to commercial real quick, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up here.
Welcome back. And Matt Davis,
Yes, sir.
Brett Eubank, wrap it up for us here. What do you think, guys?
Well, I think it's those week 0 games. You learn so much from that first week to your second week. Now you're able to put everything on film, see where you need to clean stuff up. And, I definitely think for the Tigers, really the offensive and defensive line is probably where they need the most work here. I'm sure some of it's just assignments and stuff like that. Coach said one of those things are going to try to get that fixed up. And I think once you correct some of that stuff, I think Tigers are in for a pretty good season.
Yeah, and, some of the things we talked about, trying to improve field position would be helpful. I mean, they started deep in their end zone early, and they gave up turnovers. I mean, some things like that can make a big difference. Getting the ball starting at the 30, 40 versus starting at your 10 is a big difference, in terms of, so if they can get some of those turned around a little bit. We did see signs of offensive movement drives. I thought Jackson really settled in there. And I think their running game will come along. But good game for the Tigers in the second half. Try to get some momentum going in the second game next week at South Valley. I'll be right back here, guys, doing the same thing next week. Brett, good job. Aaron,
thank you, sir.
Good job. Everyone else have a good weekend tonight. That's it from Ben to Field tonight, where it was Riverside 55,